Chapter 190. Lady Lingyu, the island master has ordered you to go to Shaoyangxi City. In the living room of Lingyu's courtyard, Dan Taiying cautiously said to Lingyu. Although she was the manager of Zhanlong City in name, she had yet to break through to the spirit qi unification realm. In front of Lingyu, a spirit refining realm cultivator, she did not have much confidence. I understand. Thank you City Lord Dan Tai for making this trip. I will pack up and go to Shaoyangxi City. Lingyu said with a frown, however, I don't have a flying sword with me. The sacred winged golden rock has been taken away by the island master. If I want to go to Shaoyangxi City, I'm afraid I'll have to take a battleship. Don't worry lady, the battleship has been prepared. We can leave at any time once lady is ready. Good, please wait a moment. Lingyu went into her room and packed up in less than half an hour. She returned to Dan Taiying and followed Dan Taiying to the port. At the port, a battleship was ready to go. With Lingyu's arrival, the battleship slowly rose into the air. As the battleship took off, Lingyu, who was on the battleship, suddenly sensed something and looked in the direction of the spaceport. Over there was a commercial battleship slowly docked at Zhanlong City's airport. Lingyu followed her heart and looked over. She saw an old man with a sage-like aura looking at her with a smile that was not a smile. With just a glance, Lingyu felt her mind go blank. Her thoughts seemed to have stagnated. However, when she came back to her senses and looked at the deck of the battleship, although there were many people walking around, the old man was nowhere to be seen. It was as if the scene she had just witnessed was merely a momentary trance and nothing had happened. Lingyu frowned after a while. She asked the guard, who does that battleship belong to? Lady, that is the Four Seas Merchant Guild's battleship. The Four Seas Merchant Guild is a large merchant guild in Shaoyangxi City. They have many business dealings with Zhanlong Island. Four Seas Merchant Guild, Lingyu looked at the battleship again, but there was nothing wrong with it. She didn't think there was anyone in the eastern wilderness who could make her stop thinking with just a look, so she quickly threw this matter to the back of her mind, thinking it was just an illusion. 4 days later, the Dragon-Slaying Island's battleship appeared in Shaoyangxi City. At this moment, the Life League had confirmed that there was indeed a Qingming realm expert on Dragon-Slaying Island. They had also received news that this Qingming realm expert was rushing over on a warship. Thus, when Lingyu arrived at Shaoyangxi City, the atmosphere of the entire city became tense. More than half of the elders who were originally stationed outside were summoned back. Many spirit refining and true qi realm guards were patrolling the city, protecting the safety of the city. Young Master. In Tsing Hui's courtyard, Lingyu bowed respectfully. Although she might have other thoughts in her mind, she was a very sensible person. Before she had enough strength to resist, she would not show any unnecessary attitude. Time is tight. Have you consolidated your green hell realm yet? It's almost done. Young Master, please give me your orders. Lingyu recalled the information she read on the way here. Are we going to make a move on the Life League? Although there are 3 Qingming realm experts in the Life League, the strongest of the 3, Yu Xianchen, is only at the middle stage of the Qingming realm. Moreover, she has only awakened the bloodline of a spirit beast. If young master gives the order, I can use my divine technique to kill all 3 of them. This is why I called you here. Let's go. As Qing Su said that, he directly headed towards the Life Alliance with Lingyu just like that. Shaoyangxi City was Sui Xiao's territory. When Tsing Hui and Lingyu moved, Sui Xiao immediately sensed it. When they arrived at the Life League's headquarters, an old man in his 40s was already waiting for them at the entrance. When the old man saw the 2 of them, he walked up to them and gestured with a smile. Island Master Qing Su, Lady Lingyu, I am the 4th elder of the Life Moon Alliance, Gu Qing. The 3 alliance masters of the Life Moon Alliance have been waiting for you after learning that you've come to visit. Let's go in. Tsing Hui's gaze did not linger on the old man and brought Lingyu into the Life League. He did not care whether the Life League was a tiger's den or a dragon's den. When 4th Elder Guqing saw this, a cold smile appeared on his face. Under Guqing's lead, the group quickly walked to the guest hall. However, along the way, countless spirit-refining realm guards formed a battle formation and sized Qing Su and Ling Yu up with a trace of hostility in their eyes. When the two of them arrived at the guest hall under Guqing's lead, the 52 Spirit and Qi Unity Realm experts who were already prepared and gathered in the guest hall looked at Qing Su at the same time. Each of their eyes contained an indescribable pressure. Even though it was impossible for any of these Divine Energy Unity experts to be a match for a Green Netherworld Realm expert in a one-on-one battle, there were over 50 of them. Many of them were at the late stage and peak stage of the Divine Energy Unity Realm. If there was someone to coordinate and form a battle formation, this force would be able to easily kill a cultivator who had just entered the Green Netherworld Realm. This is an initial show of strength. Ling Yu glanced at the elders of the Life League and a trace of indifference flashed across her face. If they knew that she was a rank 10 Son of Chaos and Xing Hui was a Son of Chaos whose battle prowess was not inferior to a Qingming Realm late-stage Son of Chaos, she wondered if they would laugh at her actions today. Guqing brought Xing Hui and Ling Yu to the guest hall. He did not say anything and did not even arrange a seat for them. He just returned to his seat and joined the other Spirit and Qi Unity Realm experts. He sneered at Xing Hui and Ling Yu, waiting to see how they would deal with this situation. Alliance leaders Wu Shao of the Life League. Since you have shown us your strength, it seems like today's matter can't be settled peacefully. In that case, Dragon Slaying Island won't waste any more words with the Life Alliance. The Celestial Master Island originally intended to rely on Dragon Slaying Island. However, they were intercepted by the Life Alliance halfway and were forcefully annexed by the Life Alliance. Such actions are simply disregarding Dragon Slaying Island. Now, if you release the people from the Celestial Master Island and compensate Dragon Slaying Island can still leave directly and mind our own business with the Life Alliance. Otherwise, in order to protect the dignity of Dragon Slaying Island, even if the Life Alliance is a huge force, Dragon Slaying Island will still challenge the Life Alliance according to the overseas rules. Xing Hui said calmly. Island leader Xing Hui, is it? When Zhuo Shao saw how straightforward Qing Su was, he was unwilling to play along with him because he had so many powerful experts on his side. Your talent is impressive, and you've even cultivated Saint-grade Aura Qi. You can be described as having a limitless future ahead of you, but you still don't have the right to speak overseas right now. Let's not even talk about whether the Celestial Master Island is willing to join our Life Moon Alliance. Even if they aren't, do we have to report our actions to your Dragon Slaying Island? Do you really think that you can look down on everyone in the world just because you have a Green Netherworld Realm expert on your island? As your elder who has lived overseas for a long time, I have to remind you. Young man, don't be too impulsive. You have to lower your head when it's time to do so. There are many people in this world that you can't afford to offend. If you fight recklessly, you won't even know how you die when the time comes. Xing Hui shook his head when he heard that. On the surface, as an expert who had cultivated holy grade Gang Qi, he could only be considered as a Green Netherworld Realm expert. Moreover, although Ling Yu had broken through to the Green Netherworld Realm, she had not been in the Green Netherworld Realm for long. Naturally, she would not be taken seriously by Zhuo Shao and Yuan Fei, who had been famous for a long time. Since their strength was not on the same level, it was reasonable for them to have the confidence to look down on him and the others. I don't know if the Dragon Slaying Island has the right to look down on anyone, but I think it should be enough to deal with the Life League. How dare you? Among the 3 Alliance Masters, the Moon Lake Master Yu Xianchen, who had the highest cultivation and was also the only woman, let out a cold snort. Master of Qing Su Island, we've only tolerated you until now because it wasn't easy for you to cultivate Saint-grade astral energy. However, this doesn't mean that we're willing to listen to your nonsense. According to our discussion, you have 2 choices. First, you can lead Slaying Dragon Island to join the Life League. Seeing that both of you have extraordinary cultivation, I can make you 2 elders. If you are loyal and devoted to the Life League in the future and make great contributions, it is not impossible for you to be promoted to the position of deputy leader. As for the second choice, if you choose to be stubborn to the end, don't blame us for using the power of the Life League to crush your entire slaying dragon island into dust. You are right. You are right. You are right. By then, if both of you want to surrender again, we will not be so kind. Crushing the entire dragon-slaying island into dust with the power of the Life League and the power of the Thunder League? The three leaders are a little too confident. Before you say these words, you should fight with Ling Yu of the dragon-slaying island first. As Tsing Hui spoke, he gestured for Ling Yu to come forward. Why don't we fight? Ling Yu alone is enough for the dragon-slaying island, while the three leaders of the Life League can fight together. If the dragon-slaying island wins, we do not ask for much. I, Tsing Hui, will be the leader, and Ling Yu and the other three can be deputy leaders. If the dragon-slaying island loses, everyone on the island will be at the mercy of the three leaders of the Life League. What do you think? How dare you? A cold light flashed in Yu Xianqin's eyes. How dare you look down on us, you, leader you, please calm down. Zhuo Shao interrupted Yu Xianqin's anger with a fake smile. Since the dragon-slaying island is so confident, why don't we fulfill their wish? If the four of us fight to determine the winner, it will greatly reduce the bloodshed of many of our subordinates and greatly preserve our overseas forces. In this way, when the 5 sacred sects sweep over in the future, our chances of survival will be higher. I only hope that the leader of the dragon-slaying island will keep his promise and not go back on it. Chapter 191. A green netherworld realm expert was different from a spirit and chi uniting realm and a spirit refining realm expert. A spirit and chi uniting realm expert would be able to control their own strength and not cause too much damage to the outside world. However, a green netherworld realm expert would be able to achieve the unity of heaven and man uniting realm. They would be able to cause great damage to the outside world with just a wave of their hand. Moreover, a green netherworld realm expert would not be able to control such destructive power. If the 4 green netherworld realm experts were to fight above Shaoyang Sea City, it would not be a problem for them to destroy half of Shaoyang Sea City. As a result, the people of the Life Alliance, Qing Su, and Ling Yu directly left the sea market after the battle. Under the surprised gazes of the various organizations in the sea market, they made their way to an uninhabited island around 60 kilometers away from the sea market. The island had a diameter of 4 to 5 kilometers. It was not too big, but it was more than enough to be the battlefield of the 4 green netherworld realm experts. Almost all of the elders from the Life League, except for a few who had to stay in Shaoyang Sea City, were gathered here. They stood on the deck of the battleship and looked at Tsing Hui, Ling Yu, and Madame Zhu Yu, Dan Tating, and the others who came after hearing the news. The sacred winged golden rock is one of the best flying treasures produced in the Alchemy Valley. According to its grade, it is at the upper grade of the 4th level. Moreover, due to the low quantity produced in the Alchemy Valley, people who want to buy it would have to wait for decades. If you really want to get your hands on such a flying treasure quickly, you would have to pay at least the price of a lower grade of the 5th level god weapon. This dragon-slaying island master actually has such a flying treasure. It seems like he has accumulated quite a lot of them. Let's be careful, Zhuo Shao said sourly as he looked at Tsing Hui and the others on the sacred winged golden rock. No wonder the dragon-slaying island is so arrogant to let Ling Yu challenge the 3 green netherworld realm experts of the Life League. He must have thought that he has a lot of middle grade of the 5th level or even upper grade of the 5th level god weapon. He can rely on the power of the god weapon to suppress us. We have to be very careful in a while. Don't fail miserably at such an easy task. Ling Yu has just broken through to the Green Hell realm. We have asked countless people to verify this, so there is no mistake. This is also the reason why we agreed to the duel even though we knew that the dragon-slaying island didn't have good intentions. Even if a new Green Hell realm cultivator has divine grade Gang Qi and many upper level 5 or level 6 divine weapons, it is nothing. Don't forget that we also have powerful divine weapons given to us by that big shot. Yu Xianqin said meaningfully. She was the master of the Moon Lake, living a carefree life. The reason why she had agreed to cooperate with Zhuo Xiao and Yuan Fei to establish the Life Moon Alliance was because the big shot behind her had offered her a bargaining chip that she couldn't refuse. This bargaining chip was related to whether she could reach the 6th level of the longevity realm in the future. Due to the wariness of the overseas forces against those people who wouldn't act unless they saw a rabbit, in addition to these bargaining chips, she took the initiative to ask for a medium level 5 armor and a upper level 5 divine weapon from that big shot to show her sincerity. Zhuo Xiao and Yuan Fei were no exception. This was also the reason why the three of them didn't show much emotion even though they knew that Ling Yu might have a top divine weapon. They even secretly heaved a sigh of relief when they knew that Ling Yu dared to challenge the three of them because she only had a divine weapon as her trump card. Island Master Xing Hui, it's not too late if you regret it now. The Life Moon Alliance's previous promise is still valid. As long as the Dragon-Slaying Island is willing to join the Life Moon Alliance, all the experts in the syncretism of spirit and chi in the Dragon-Slaying Island can become elders of the Life Moon Alliance. As long as you and Ling Yu are really loyal to the Life Moon Alliance, it is not impossible for you to be promoted to deputy chief in the future. This is your last chance. If you miss it, you won't have such a good chance in the future. Zhuo Xiao thought that he had seen through the trump card of Xing Hui and the others. Naturally, he felt relieved and was even in the mood to give them some charity. However, Qing Su ignored him. He directly nodded to Ling Yu, go. Not only do you have to win, but you have to win beautifully as well. You have to crush their morale completely. I've already given you the Class 6 God weapon from before. If you can achieve my goal, the Class 6 God weapon will belong to you from today onwards. If you can't, then don't blame me for what happens next. Xing Hui was now at the advanced stage of the syncretism of spirit and qi. His battle prowess was much stronger than Ling Yu's. He didn't have to take away all the divine weapons on her because he was afraid of her strength like before. He had obtained 2 level 6 divine weapons from Xuanwu's cave residence. He had given one to Yun Tao, who had taken the soul-dispersing pill and kept the other one with him. Now, he had given it to Ling Yu for the time being. Don't worry, Master. I won't let you down. Ling Yu said in a low voice. She couldn't resist Xing Hui at the moment. Naturally, she wouldn't show any arrogance. Go. Yes. Ling Yu gestured with her hand. Everyone, let's go. Let me experience the skills of the 3 leaders of the Life Alliance. After she finished speaking, she took the lead and flew toward the island below. Humph. You don't know how to appreciate favors. Seeing that Ling Yu was still stubborn, Yu Xianqin snorted coldly. Do you really think that you can look down on the world just because you obtained some treasures? Today, I'll teach you a lesson and let you understand the immensity of heaven and earth. After she finished speaking, she was the first to rush down. Zhuo Xiao and Yuan Fei looked at each other and followed Yu Xianqin's figure. A lion will use all its strength even when hunting a rabbit. In case this woman has other tricks up her sleeve, we'll use all our strength when we attack later and defeat her in one move. Zhuo Xiao said in a low voice. Of course. Yuan Fei looked arrogant, but he was quite calm inside. Little girl. There's no need to continue forward. Take this, let's end this quickly. Yu Xianqin, who had landed on the island with Ling Yu, shouted loudly. She suddenly wielded a 5th level upper grade divine weapon and slashed it toward Ling Yu. This 5th level upper grade divine weapon obviously didn't match Yu Xianqin's cultivation method. However, any divine weapon above the 4th level had a strong tolerance for true energy. Even if this 5th level divine weapon didn't completely match Yu Xianqin's true energy, it still stirred up the wind and clouds when it slashed down under Yu Xianqin's control. When an ordinary unity of spirit realm expert slashed out, the intense friction between the sword energy and the air would produce violent sonic booms. However, for a blue netherworld expert, not only did this sword's edge cancel out the obstruction of the air flow, but the world chi also seemed to have become the sword's support, causing the power of this slash to increase from 100% to 100%. When the sword was unleashed, the pressure was vast and mighty. Even before the sword's edge arrived, the power of the wind and clouds stirred up by the world chi had already caused the wind and clouds to surge within a radius of 1,000 meters. Waves spread out on the surface of the sea. End this quickly. That's exactly what I want. Even though I've experienced the various mysteries of the Blue Netherworld realm more than once, this is the first time I've truly stepped into the Blue Netherworld realm and displayed a power that completely belongs to the Blue Netherworld realm. Today, I'll let you see what kind of power the Blue Netherworld realm has when it's sublimated to the extreme. When Lingyu saw Yu Xianchen make a move, she no longer held back. The aura all over her body suddenly skyrocketed. Divine Technique. When she used the divine technique to cause her aura to skyrocket, her body also seemed to have broken through the barrier between herself and the outside world, directly evolving to an unbelievable realm. Under the guidance of this mysterious power, the heavenly Peng divine soul in her body emitted a dazzling radiance and quickly merged with this mysterious power. Then, this mysterious power guided it to seep into her limbs and bones, divine body. This was the divine body that was born after forcefully reaching the 6th level of the immortality realm by borrowing the power of the divine technique. When the divine body manifested, a terrifying power that seemed to be able to destroy the world spontaneously rose from within her body. Under the amplification of this terrifying power, she could even destroy a city with one strike, split a mountain with one palm, and split the sea with one sword. However, Lingyu was not the kind of cultivator who would be enslaved by power. Even though the feeling of invincibility filled her body, she knew very well that in reality, she was only at the Blue Netherworld realm and could not bear the battle power of manifesting the divine body. Manifesting the divine body was a great burden to the 6th level of the immortality realm. Usually, the true chi in the bodies of the 6th level of the immortality realm was not enough to support them manifesting the divine body to fight for 3 breaths. It could be said to be an instant battle of life and death. Right now, although Lingyu borrowed the power of the divine technique to possess the power of the divine body, if she really dared to manifest the divine body, she would probably only be able to unleash the power of one strike at most before her true chi was exhausted. However, she could not completely manifest the power of the divine body, but the strength of the 6th level of the immortality realm was enough for her to completely turn the situation around. In the next moment, she directly used the 6th level divine weapon that Xing Hui had given her. An even more violent power surged from her hand, forming a mighty and violent hurricane. It swept up endless true chi and directly met Yu Xianchen's sword. If the power of the world that Yu Xianchen stirred up when she slashed down could only be described as surging winds and clouds, then the power within 1,000 meters of her became completely violent when Lingyu counterattacked. Terrifying tornadoes even formed in some places, forcefully uprooting the trees, grass, and even boulders on the island. They flew into the air and collided with Yu Xianchen's slash head-on. Oh no! Lingyu's aura. The moment Sui Xiao and Yuan Fei saw Lingyu's sword, their expressions changed drastically. Under the horrified gazes of the 2 Green Hell Realm warriors and the many Life League elders, the attacks of the 2 Green Hell Realm warriors collided violently in the void. For a moment, the airflow in the void seemed to have been crushed by an invisible hand, turning into a hurricane that could be seen by the naked eye and exploding, forming an extremely violent energy shock wave. Rumble. A violent rumble immediately followed. Under the force of the shock wave, Yu Xianchen, who bore the brunt of it, was like a lone boat in a stormy sea. She spat out a mouthful of blood as she was sent flying by the force. Kill! On the other hand, Lingyu, who'd gained the upper hand, let out a long howl. She didn't retreat but advanced instead, and she charged straight into the terrifying storm that swept towards her. The swift and fierce sword light completely minced the vast torrent of origin energy that charged over, and the sword strike that wasn't inferior to the sword strike from before had already completely enveloped Yu Xianchen, who'd spat out blood as she was blasted flying. Chapter 192. Moon Lake Master, watch out. Go. Noticing that Yu Xianqian was in danger, Zhuo Xiao and Yuan Fei shouted at the same time. In an instant, they swept up a gale and pounced towards Ling Yu. Every single one of their movements swept up an enormous pressure, and their mighty momentum caused the expressions of the Life League's elders at the Unity of Spirit realm to change. Overseas, the syncretism of spirit and qi was equivalent to an overlord. It was not difficult for them to occupy an island and do whatever they wanted. Even in the inland, the syncretism of spirit and qi experts often had a high status. Standing at the top for many years, they naturally had an arrogant attitude. They thought that their status was so great that they could advance and retreat freely no matter what kind of danger they encountered. However, when they saw the two green netherworld realm experts fighting and the momentum they set off, they realized that, compared to the overlords of the green netherworld realm who had achieved the syncretism of spirit and qi, they were still far from it. Moreover, if it was a battle of syncretism of spirit and qi, they could usually hold back if it was not a life and death battle. However, the green netherworld realm experts' every move was accompanied by the momentum of heaven and earth. While it was powerful, it was impossible to hold back at will. In other words, if they really offended a green netherworld realm expert, even if they chose to lower their heads and beg for mercy at the critical moment, the green netherworld realm expert might not be able to hold back his attack. They would most likely still die. Rumble. While the Life League syncretism of spirit and qi experts were shocked by the power displayed by the green netherworld realm experts, Zhuo Xiao and Yuan Fei had already collided with Ling Yu. Both Zhuo Xiao and Yuan Fei had been in the Qingming realm for decades and could be considered as veteran experts in the Qingming realm. Not long ago, they were promised by the Green Lotus Sword sect and were bestowed with level 5 divine weapons. Even if they faced an ordinary expert in the middle stage of the Qingming realm, they would be able to fight for a while. However, this time, they met Ling Yu, who had used the divine skill and was holding a level 6 divine weapon. Relying on the level 6 divine weapon, Ling Yu, who had just entered the green netherworld realm, was not much weaker than Zhuo Xiao and Yuan Fei. With the addition of the divine art, after a head-on collision, Zhuo Xiao and Yuan Fei quickly followed in Yu Xianqian's footsteps and were sent flying. Before they could stabilize themselves, Ling Yu's speed boost from her bloodline allowed her to quickly appear in front of them. She slashed down with her sword, tearing space apart. Wherever the sword light passed, not only did space distort, the sword light continued to slash into the ocean, creating a 1,000-meter-wide trench in the ocean. It could truly be described as splitting the river and splitting the sea. This power is no weaker than Immortal Realm level 6, an increase of 1 realm. Sacred technique. It was a divine technique. You're a 10th stage son of chaos. Zhuo Xiao screamed in pain. He was careless, and Ling Yu's sword qi swept past him. 3 bloody holes appeared on his body in an instant. The sharp sword light pierced through his body and shot into the island with a red glow, cutting down a dozen trees along the way. Quick! Back off! Back off! With the divine skill, she can unleash the combat strength of a level 6 immortal level even though she's only at green hell level. Back off! Don't fight with her at this moment. Yuan Fei and Yu Xianqian, who had recovered from the shock, flew backward as fast as they could. However, Ling Yu was best at speed. Yuan Fei and Yu Xianqian retreated quickly, but Ling Yu was even faster. As her body flashed, she tore through Yuan Fei's body like a stream of light. Wherever the sword light went, Yuan Fei screamed and was almost cut in half by Ling Yu even though he tried his best to block it. Blood splattered in the air. Seeing this, the Moon Lake Lord, who had been aggressive earlier, could not help but feel fear. He quickly shouted, "We admit defeat. We admit defeat." However, Ling Yu did not stop there. After severely injuring Zhuo Xiao and Yuan Fei, she turned around and charged toward the Moon Lake Master again. Hundreds of sword qis shot out like a storm from the tip of her sword. The power contained in each sword cheese was not inferior to the full power attack of an ordinary green netherworld realm expert. Under the storm of sword chi, even though Yu Xianchen had roared out and erupted with all her true energy, forming a resplendent sword chi in front of her, it was still minced to pieces by Ling Yu's sword chi in less than a breath's time. Even the high-grade armor she wore was quickly penetrated, dimmed, and collapsed. Afterwards, the remaining sword chi pierced through her body without slowing down at all. Even though Ling Yu had controlled the sword chi to avoid hitting her vitals, the dense sword chi still left behind over a dozen bloody holes on Yu Xianchen's body. Dark red blood instantly dyed her body red. Seeing the three alliance leaders pale after fighting for less than a dozen breaths, the Life League syncretic spirit elders widened their eyes. Sacred technique. It's actually a sacred technique. A sacred technique that only a high-level son of chaos can use? Is this the real trump card of Dragon Slaying Island? Lady Ling Yu is a green netherworld realm powerhouse. Now that she has a sacred technique, isn't she a supreme powerhouse other than King Zhenhai and King Blood Dragon? She can be ranked in the top 3 on the Divine Dragon list. Dragon Slaying Island actually has such a powerhouse. No wonder they dared to look down on our Life League. It's over now. The 3 alliance leaders are all severely injured. What else can we use to fight Dragon Slaying Island? The Life League's elders who quickly understood the situation were so frightened that they felt cold all over. Fortunately, although the several dozen elders of the Life Alliance seemed powerful, probably less than a third of them were truly loyal to the Life Alliance and willing to live and die with the Life Alliance. Seeing how the Life Alliance had been defeated by the Dragon Slaying Island, many people had already set their eyes on Qing Su. They were thinking about how to get on the good side of the people from the Dragon Slaying Island so that they could be protected. Do the 3 alliance leaders of the Life League still want to fight? Xing Hui looked at the 3 green netherworld realm powerhouses of the Life League who were severely injured and asked slowly. His words made Zhuo Xiao, Yu Xianchen, and Yuan Fei feel like they were grabbing onto a life-saving straw. They quickly shouted, "No, we surrender. We surrender." Yuan Fei was even more straightforward. He said, "The overseas world has always respected the strong. Since Dragon Slaying Island has a powerhouse like Lady Ling Yu, we're willing to nominate Lady Ling Yu as the alliance leader of the Life League. We're also willing to follow her lead." Zhuo Xiao's eyes lit up and he quickly shouted, "I, Zhuo Xiao, will naturally obey the strong. From now on, I'll also follow the orders of Lady Ling Yu. I'm the Island Master's subordinate. Our Island Master should be the alliance leader of the Life League," Ling Yu said. Ling Yu said. After she finished speaking, she glanced coldly at Zhuo Xiao, who had a strange expression on his face. Even if we follow the rule of the strong overseas, the position of alliance leader should still be held by Island Master because Island Master's cultivation level is above mine. What? Zhuo Xiao, Yuan Fei, and Yu Xianchen were shocked at the same time. They looked at Xing Hui in shock. Apart from them, the elders of the Life League were also shocked. In particular, Zhuo Xianyuan, who had gone to recruit Qing Su on behalf of the Life Alliance, immediately felt a sense of lingering fear when he thought about how he had actually swaggered around before an expert who could easily take his life. Xing Hui glanced at Zhuo Xiao, Yuan Fei, and the other Life League powerhouses of the syncretism realm. He didn't reject the suggestion. The Son of Chaos was considered an original sin when he was weak. It was easy for him to be hunted down by other powerhouses. However, when a green netherworld realm powerhouse and a rank 10 Son of Chaos worked together, it was no longer a matter of fear. Instead, it was a powerful deterrent. Even the big shots of the 10 sacred sects had to consider the consequences of offending a powerhouse of the Immortality Realm 6 in the state of the divine art. Since the 3 alliance leaders are willing to admit defeat, you may rest on the Life League's battleship for a while. I'm sorry, it's hard to stop a fight between green netherworld realm cultivators. I'm sure you all know this. That's why Ling Yu attacked you a little too harshly and injured you. However, I believe that with the Life League's wealth and the treasures they've collected, it'll only take a month for your injuries to recover. Xing Hui said calmly. Zhuo Xiao, Yuan Fei, and Yu Xianchen were indeed rather dissatisfied with how easily Ling Yu had defeated them with her divine arts. However, Ling Yu clearly understood this, which was why she had dealt them extremely heavy blows. Even though their injuries were not life-threatening, it would take a month for them to fully recover, even with the aid of some healing pills. In a month, Ling Yu's divine art had already recovered. If they dared to be disloyal by then, she wouldn't simply injure them severely. Besides, even if Ling Yu's divine art had not recovered, there was still the unknown and powerful island master of Dragon-Slaying Island. Before they could figure out whether or not this island master of Dragon-Slaying Island, who was said to have cultivated Saint-grade stellar energy, was a rank 10 son of chaos, they would not dare act rashly. When they understood this, Zhuo Xiao, Yuan Fei, and Yu Xianchen were unwilling, but they didn't dare to show it. They submissively said, Island Master Xing Hui, oh, no, Alliance Leader Xing Hui is right. A fight between Green Netherworld Realm cultivators truly can't be stopped. We can only blame ourselves for overestimating ourselves and daring to challenge Alliance Leader Ling Yu. We only have ourselves to blame for ending up like this. I, Zhuo Xiao, am willing to abdicate and hand over the position of Alliance Leader. From today onward, Island Master Xing Hui is the new Alliance Leader of our Life League. Very well. Since Lord Zhuo Xiao is so modest, it would be impolite of me to decline. Xing Hui agreed without any reservation. Dragon-Slaying Island has always been gentle. Since the Life League has only established one Alliance Leader and 2 Vice Leaders, it's not good for me to break this rule. Let's maintain the original structure of the Life League with 3 Alliance Leaders at the helm. I'll be the Alliance Leader of the Life League, Ling Yu will be the Vice Leader, and the 3rd Alliance Leader will be the Moon Lake Master based on their strength. What do you think? Island Master. Oh, it should be Alliance Leader now. Dragon-Slaying Island is willing to join the Life League and act according to the rules of the Life League. I'm sure the Alliance Leaders and Elders won't refuse. Ling Yu, who was at the side, agreed. At the same time, she looked coldly at the remaining 2 Alliance Leaders and the Elders of the Life League on the battleship. At this moment, the time limit of her divine art was still up. Her eyes carried the great pressure of an Immortal Realm Level 6 expert. When she glanced at them, everyone in the Life League was frightened and agreed. Yes, Alliance Leader. Our Sea Lion Island will naturally follow the orders of the Alliance Master. Alliance Leader Xing Hui and Alliance Leader Ling Yu are wise. Chapter 193. After Ling Yu displayed her extremely powerful strength and defeated Zhuo Xiao, Yuan Fei, and Yu Xianchen, the entire Life League's Unity of Spirit Realm experts were instantly silenced. None of them dared to disobey. It could be said that Xing Hui easily controlled the Life League. However, this was just the beginning. Xing Hui and even Zhuo Xiao, Yuan Fei, and Yu Xianchen from the Life League understood that according to the overseas rules, the strong were respected. Ling Yu deserved to be the league leader of the Life League. However, other than the 3 Green Netherworld Realm experts, the Life League had the mysterious Green Lotus Sword sect behind it. Moreover, the Green Lotus Sword sect's deputy sect leader, Wen Hui, was personally in charge of integrating the Life League. Now that Xing Hui had taken over the Life League and wanted to devour it, it was equivalent to snatching food from the Green Lotus Sword sect. The Green Lotus Sword sect would definitely not let this go. Perhaps the Green Lotus Sword sect would make a move on the Life League after the situation on Cold Snow Island became clear. Island Master, I've just found out from a few elders who surrendered. Zhuo Xiao from the Life League sorted out the locations of the ferocious beasts and sea beasts within 10,000 kilometers of Shaoyang Sea City and gave them to the Green Lotus Sword sect. In other words, the Green Lotus Sword sect now knows the sea region within 10,000 kilometers of Shaoyang Sea City like the back of their hand. It's impossible for us to use the sea beasts within 10,000 kilometers of Shaoyang Sea City to deal with them. In the Life League leader's office, Dan Tating appeared in front of Tsing Hui with a serious expression and reported the information. The location of the sea beasts is the foundation of any force's survival. How could the Life League leak out such precious information so easily? According to our deductions, this Heaven Fiend King Zhou Shao should be a chess piece of the Green Lotus Sword sect that was buried overseas. It's just that he's been activated at this moment. From this, it can be seen that the Green Lotus Sword sect has been scheming against the overseas islands for a long time. They've been plotting this for a long time, and the cost is huge. This proves that they won't give up easily. Qing Su said, the forces that the Green Lotus Sword sect has sent overseas are mainly led by the Great Elder Shuaguang and the Vice Sect Master Wen Hui. Apart from that, they have 6 Hall Masters and 30 Elders with them. That's quite a huge lineup. If they really come attacking with their full strength, our Life Alliance really won't be able to stop them. Compared to those below the Prominent Divine stage, the biggest characteristic of the Longevity Stage 6 Prominent Divine stage was the ability to manifest the Divine Body. Once the Divine Body was manifested, the lethality would increase sharply. With Tsing Hui's current combat strength, he was not afraid of those experts at the early stage of the Immortality Realm 6. He could still gain the upper hand by relying on his divine weapon, but once his opponent used his combat body, the offensive and defensive roles were instantly switched. Even if he cultivated to the peak of the spirit and chi uniting realm, he still wouldn't be able to reverse this. The only way to resist the power of a battle constitution was to have one of their own. And if he used divine arts to increase his combat power by 1 level, Green Hell Realm. Only after he stepped into the Green Hell Realm could he use divine arts to resist the Immortality Realm 6 experts. It seems that we can't let them divert their attention to the Life League for the time being. As Tsing Hui spoke, he slowly stood up. I'll go to Cold Snow Island. Cold Snow Island? Island Master, you can't. All the experts of the 5 sacred sects are gathered there. The experts of the Jin Wu religion, the Green Lotus Sword sect, and the Hunyuan Heaven sect are not a problem. The key is that the Wuji Sword sect and the Create Evolve Mysterious sect, the 2 overlords, are confronting each other. Once these 2 overlords start fighting, not to mention the Divine Chi Syncretism Realm experts, even the Green Hell Realm experts will be crushed into powder by these 2 giants. Dan Tating trembled and hurriedly dissuaded him. Tsing Hui naturally knew how terrifying the Wuji Sword sect and the Create Evolve Mysterious sect were. They were the overlords of the Eastern Wilderness. If the Wuji Sword sect and the Create Evolve Mysterious sect were not at loggerheads, these 2 forces could easily wipe out the entire Eastern Wilderness if they joined forces. The Hunyuan Heaven sect, the 6 Paths of God and Demon, the Qiankuan Sacred Ground, the Shinshao Sword sect, and the rest of the 8 sacred sects would be crushed into powder in front of these 2 giants. Other than the peak experts of the 6th stage of the Immortal Life Realm and the Vision Saint stage, no other force would dare to provoke these 2 terrifying existences. It's fine. I'm not going to intervene in the battle between the 5 sacred sects. I'm just thinking of a way to restrain the Green Lotus Sword sect so that they won't have time to take care of the Life Moon Alliance. When I'm not in the Life Moon Alliance, you have to cooperate with Ling Yu and take control of the Life Moon Alliance as soon as possible. As for the direction, you can provoke the enmity between them and the 10 sacred sects so that everyone will be united against a common enemy. When we use this method to take control of the Life Moon Alliance, even if the Green Lotus Sword sect wants to intervene in the Life Moon Alliance's matters, they will be powerless. If Zhou Shao and the others dare to have second thoughts, we won't even need to do anything. Island Master, why don't you let Lady Ling Yu go? Ling Yu, Tsing Hui shook his head. He still couldn't completely trust Ling Yu. It's decided then. Tsing Hui waved his hand and said. Next, he stayed in Shaoyang Sea City, which was the Life Moon Alliance, for 3 days and completely secured the throne of the Alliance Master. However, even though he was the Alliance Master of the Life Moon Alliance, he was different from Zhou Shao. He didn't control everything in his hands. Instead, while he protected the rights of Ling Yu and Yu Xianchen, he distributed the authority that belonged to him, the true alliance master, to the elders below him. This increased the authority of the many unity of spirit realm elders. In this way, Yu Xianchen, whose interests had not been touched, was satisfied. The resistance from the other elders of the divine Qi uniting realm in the Council of Elders also fell to the extreme, causing the number of elders who expressed their loyalty to him in these 3 days to multiply. Dan Tating was a little puzzled by Tsing Hui's actions. However, Madame Zhu Yu saw it clearly. After all, overseas belonged to a force where the strong were respected. The so-called authority and benefits were also built on the foundation of strength. Now that Tsing Hui was the alliance master of the Life Moon Alliance, he had the highest authority. As long as he could maintain his absolute foundation of strength, even if he didn't control half of the Life Moon Alliance's power, who in the Life Moon Alliance would dare to go against his orders? Relying on these loft-like rights in the sky to gain the loyalty of the Life Moon Alliance could be considered a clever move. Ling Yu, I'll leave the Life Moon Alliance to you. You should know why I want to control the Life Moon Alliance. Tsing Hui called Ling Yu over and said bluntly after the Life Moon Alliance's affairs had stabilized for the time being. It's to collect Dao-carrying items. Ling Yu lowered her head and said. That's right. The Life Moon Alliance's sphere of influence isn't small. With the addition of the two of us, it won't be a problem to develop the Life Moon Alliance into one of the top 3 overlords overseas. Therefore, what you need to do next is to continue expanding the Life Moon Alliance's influence and occupy more territory. On the other hand, you need to secretly start collecting Dao-carrying items. Young Master, Ling Yu raised her head and looked at Tsing Hui. After hesitating for a while, she made up her mind and said, actually, Young Master, if you really want enough Dao-carrying items, occupying a territory and constantly collecting them by relying on manpower is the slowest way. It's better to transform into a Dao-carrying merchant and trade with others for their Dao-carrying items. Also, if Young Master feels that this is troublesome, why don't you establish a chaos organization in the Chaos Temple like me and recruit other sons of chaos? With your identity as a son of chaos and above level 10 and your ability to rally supporters, it won't take long for your chaos organization to become famous. At that time, we'll secretly analyze who has more Dao-carrying items and make an appointment to kill them and take their Dao-carrying items. You just need to be careful. There's no need to worry about being discovered at all, just like what you did in Dawn. Ling Yu nodded slightly. Yes, sir. To be honest, I've only obtained the inheritance of a rank 12 son of chaos. In other words, I was only rank 6 when I became a son of chaos. I've been using similar methods over the past few decades to raise my chaos level from rank 6 to rank 10. I've also spent many Dao-carrying items to exchange for large amounts of cultivation resources, weapons, and so on. After a few decades, I've obtained more than 500 Dao-carrying auras. A few decades, 500 Dao-carrying items. This efficiency was almost on par with those in charge in the Sky Dome Empire. It was indeed a golden belt for killing and arson. However, Tsing Hui shook his head and rejected the offer. I'll establish an organization, but it'll only be a merchant's organization. I'll use this merchant's organization to trade with the Sons of Chaos in other continents. Therefore, my name needs to have a good reputation. Establish a merchant's organization to trade with other continents? Not to mention that the ocean is extremely vast and it takes a lot of time to travel back and forth. The dangers in the ocean alone aren't something that ordinary people can bear. Even if you're a saint, if you're not careful and step into the territory of a top saint beast, you'll only end up dead. It'll take a lot of time. Tsing Hui smiled and didn't think much of it. The merchant's organization he was referring to wasn't one that his real body would go to, but the incarnation technique. A merchant's organization that carried a level 5 personal space. First, he would upgrade his personal space to level 5. Then, he would continuously send his incarnations to various continents to collect Dao-carrying items. Then, he would exchange the Dao-carrying items for cultivation resources on Tianhuang region to increase his own strength. This would form a virtuous cycle. As long as he could make a name for himself, he believed that he would be able to obtain an endless supply of Dao-carrying items. I already have a plan for this. You don't have to say much. Just do as I say. Yes. Seeing Tsing Hui's firm attitude, Ling Yu showed a hint of helplessness on her face. However, the 10 saint sects will not allow a giant with the potential to unify the ocean to appear. This can be seen from the fact that Lord Jinhai and Lord Blood Flood Dragon were forced to the outer sea. They wanted to unify the ocean, so the 10 saint sects sent their supreme elders to expel us. Once our life alliance develops to a certain extent, the 10 saint sects will definitely send experts to suppress us. I understand, but it will probably be several years later when the 10 saint sects react and want to suppress us. At that time, they may not have enough ability to suppress us. Tsing Hui wore a confident smile on his face. Well, it's settled. I'll go to Cold Snow Island to cause some trouble for the Green Lotus Sword sect, lest they have nothing to do. Chapter 194. Thousands of kilometers around the Cold Snow Island was already filled with experts. The Spirit and Qi Unity realms, Qingming realms, and even prominent divine realms of the 5 sacred sects, as well as the Spirit refining realms and true Qi realms that relied on them, numbered in the hundreds and thousands. They were densely packed in every corner of the sea. This was especially so for the Flying Snow Island and Floating Snow Island, which were about 10 kilometers in diameter, which were less than 300 kilometers away from the Cold Snow Island. The Create Evolve Mystical sect had built 3 medium-sized gates of fortune on these 3 islands. It was as if they had buried a nail here and were about to spread out from there. Let alone the Wuji Sword sect and the 4 sacred sects who were secretly furious, even Qing Su's brows were tightly furrowed when he saw this. The medium-sized gates of fortune were guarded by Immortal Stage 5 Blue Netherworld Realm experts and could fight against prominent Divine Realm experts. With these 3 gates of fortune, the Create Evolve Mystical sect only needed to leave 3 Blue Netherworld Realm experts here, which was equivalent to having 3 peak prominent Divine Realm experts guarding this place. This would be a great deterrent to the entire sea region. When the time came, they would build more small-scale gates of fortune with this place as the center. In the future, they might be able to use this place as a foundation to spread out across the entire sea region. It was just like what the Create Evolve Mystical sect did in the Linhai region. With the existence of the Gates of Fortune, the Create Evolve Mystical sect had already covered 1/3 of the entire Outer Sea region. The remaining 2/3 were near the Outer Sea region and centered around the 4 Great Sea region. If the Create Evolve Mystical sect really built many Gates of Fortune on the Cold Snow Island, the entire sea region near the mainland would be controlled by the Create Evolve Mystical sect. By then, anyone from the Eastern Wilderness who wanted to leave the Eastern Wilderness via the sea would have to get permission from the Create Evolve Mystical sect. They would have completed the legendary feat of sealing off the entire sea region. Compared to the Create Evolve Mystical sect, the Blue Lotus Sword sect is just a small matter. Tsing Hui couldn't help but take a deep breath as he looked at the Gate of Creation that was gradually being built on the Flying Snow Island. The Gate of Creation looked like an oval-shaped light gate that was over 100 meters tall and 60 meters wide. Although the light gate was not big, the light it emitted covered a radius of tens of kilometers. It was like a mystical energy converter. Any creation mysterious sect cultivator in this area could integrate their power into the Gate of Creation and contribute to it. At the same time, they could also obtain power from the Gate of Creation, greatly increasing their strength. The upper limit of a small Gate of Fortune's growth was the Green Darkness Realm, the upper limit of a medium Gate of Fortune's growth was the Vision Saint Realm, and the upper limit of a large Gate of Fortune's growth was the Saint Realm. The reason why the Create Evolve Mysterious sect was able to suppress the Eastern Wilderness and force the sage sects of the Eastern Wilderness to band together to fight against them was because of their numerous experts. Another reason was because of the miraculous nature of the battle at the Create Evolve Mysterious sect. Relying on the miraculous battle formation at the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect, they were usually the only ones attacking the enemy. Unless the enemy had tens of times the strength, they wouldn't dare to attack the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect. The Blue Lotus Sword Sect is the kind of force that would leave after recruiting a wave of experts overseas. Even if they really took away all the experts from the Life League, it wouldn't be a big deal. Compared to the thousands of Divine Chi Syncretic Realm experts overseas, the islands overseas could still bear the loss of 50 Divine Chi Syncretic Realm experts. However, once the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect gains a foothold in this sea region and slowly advances, all the cultivators overseas would either join the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect in the future, be eliminated by the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect, or flee to a more dangerous sea region. There's no fourth option. Ching Su had always been interested in managing the overseas regions. As his cultivation constantly grew, his foundation for managing the overseas regions gradually matured. If he really allowed the Creation Mystical Sect to establish these gates of destinies, it would definitely be like a nail in his head, making it extremely difficult for him to unify the overseas regions. The Limitless Sword Sect, Hunyuan Heavenly Sect, Golden Crow Sect and Green Lotus Sword Sect are clearly unwilling to watch the Creation Mystical Sect complete the 3 fortune gates. Otherwise, with 3 additional illustrious saint experts, their situation will become extremely passive. The 5 great sects are currently in a stalemate, but the 3 fortune gates have yet to be completed. On one hand, the 3 fortune gates have yet to be completed, and on the other hand, the Limitless Sword Sect and the other forces aren't fully prepared. But as long as a war begins, accidents will always happen, and it's impossible to take care of everything. Since you're unwilling to take action, let me lend you a hand. Sing Hui's figure flashed and appeared on a medium-sized island less than 400 kilometers away from Cold Snow Island. There was a small sea market on this medium-sized island with a population of less than 30,000 people. It was currently occupied by the Limitless Sword Sect. However, the Limitless Sword Sect only used this place as a resting place and didn't kill everyone on the sea market. As a result, there were still many cultivators living in the sea market in fear. Sing Hui arrived at a courtyard in the small sea market. An awakening stage man immediately greeted him, subordinate Hu Tao greets Island Master. The man was a spy of the Dragon Beheading Island. Sing Hui had ordered the people of the Dragon Beheading Island to pay attention to the situation of the 5 great sects at all times. Naturally, he had scattered many cultivators around Cold Snow Island. Have you found out who's in charge of the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect? Island Master, due to the great momentum of the 4 great sects, the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect has sent a total of 6 Supreme Elders to suppress the 4 great sections. Currently, the one in charge of the overseas situation is the 8th Supreme Elder of the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect, Spiritual Master Hua Su. The remaining 5 are Spiritual Master Hua Su's disciple, Spiritual Master Dragon Soul, and Xian Yuzi, Xian Yangzi, Xian Tongzi, and Xian Yinzi of the 4 Yin-Yang disciples. They even sent the 8th Supreme Elder, Spiritual Master Hua Su. The Create Evolve Mysterious Sect attaches great importance to the overseas battlefield. Sing Hui was shocked. The Create Evolve Mysterious Sect was different from the Green Lotus Sword Sect and the Jin Wu religion. Although these forces were also part of the 10 great sects, the number of Supreme Elders who were at the Immortality Stage 6 could be counted with 2 hands. Every Supreme Elder was famous. However, in the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect, the total number of Supreme Elders who were at the Immortality Stage 6 was almost equal to the total number of Supreme Elders in the other 9 great sections. When dozens of Supreme Elders were gathered together, there would naturally be a difference in status, and this difference was the ranking of the Supreme Elders. Just like the Life Moon League, the top 10 Supreme Elders were not only powerful, but they also had monstrous forces behind them. Spiritual Master Hua Su was not only a top figure who had cultivated a spiritual grade battle body, but the force behind him was definitely not weak. In his life, he had taken in hundreds of disciples and taught countless people to be talented. Among all his disciples, the most outstanding one was Spiritual Master Dragon Soul, who was also at the Immortality Stage 6 Supreme Elder level, spiritual master Hua Su. With 2 Immortality Stage 6 experts in the sect, his reputation in the Create Evolve Mysterious sect was astonishing. In addition, he had a large number of Spirit and Chi Uniting Realm and Green Hell Realm experts in the sect, which naturally made him ranked very high among the Supreme Elders. In the end, he was ranked 8th among the 10 Supreme Elders. At present, among the 6 Supreme Elders, Spiritual Master Hua Su and his disciple are overseeing the Cold Snow Island, Zuanyangzi and Zuanyinzi are overseeing the Flying Snow Island, and Zuantangzi and Suanyuzi are overseeing the construction of the Create Evolve door. Although these Create Evolve doors are only at the medium level, once they are built, these Immortality Stage 6 experts will be able to continuously obtain energy from the Create Evolve Mysterious sect. As long as the energy in the Create Evolve door is not exhausted, they will be able to maintain the battle body manifestation state and fight. At that time, an Immortality Stage 6 expert will be able to fight against 3 or 4 people together. The 4 sacred sects are just going to watch the Create Evolve Mysterious sect build 3 Create Evolve doors. The Dark Female Pearl is the core of the Gate of Fortune. Although the Grand Elders of the Create Evolve Mysterious sect have set up the framework of the Gate of Fortune, the Dark Female Pearl has not arrived yet, so the Gate of Fortune cannot display its true power. The 4 sacred sects are waiting for the Dark Female Pearl of the Create Evolve Mysterious sect. This kind of pearl can not only be used as an array material, but also can be used to transform the primordial chi of spirit stones and other objects. It is very precious, but it has been monopolized by the Create Evolve Mysterious sect. Other than those dark female pearls that can only be used to set up small gates of fortune, the 4 sacred sects are obviously waiting for the dark female pearl of the Create Evolve Mysterious sect to deliver the dark female pearl of the Create Evolve Mysterious sect, so the 4 sacred sects are waiting for the dark female pearl of the Create Evolve Mysterious sect. This kind of pearl can not only be used as an array material, but also can be used to transform the primordial chi of spirit stones and other objects. Dark Female Pearl, Xing Hui had naturally heard of this kind of treasure before. The Dark Female Pearl was a special product of the Create Evolve Mysterious sect. A low-grade dark female pearl could freely transform the energy of low-grade and upper-grade spirit stones, while a mid-grade dark female pearl could transform the energy of peerless-grade spirit stones and low-grade spirit crystals. This item was extremely precious, and its market price was not inferior to a 6th-level upper-grade divine weapon. Aren't they afraid of overreaching themselves? Once the Create Evolve Mysterious sect builds the Create Evolve door, their situation will not be so easy. Xing Hui sneered. Then, he fell silent. Can you find out when the Create Evolve Mysterious sect will deliver the Dark Female Pearl? This kind of information is definitely top secret. The Create Evolve Mysterious sect will not let anyone find out. I can only estimate that it should be in the next month. In the next month, Xing Hui nodded. Since the 4 great sects are waiting for the arrival of the Dark Female Pearl, we will create an opportunity for them to think that the Dark Female Pearl has already arrived. With that, he stepped into the Chaos Divine Hall and found Ling Yu. Do you know any sons of chaos from the 4 great sects, the Wuji Sword sect, the Hunyuan Heaven sect, the Green Lotus Sword sect, and the Jin Wu religion? A few people are suspected to be disciples of the 4 great sects. Okay, spread the news that the Create Evolve Mysterious sect will secretly deliver the Dark Female Pearl to the Flying Snow Island in 3 days. Dark Female Pearl? Ling Yu was slightly taken aback. The 4 great sects won't believe this kind of baseless news, right? It doesn't matter whether they believe it or not. I just need them to be aware of it in their minds. Okay, that's all. Yes. Although Ling Yu did not understand, she still obeyed. Chapter 195. In fact, just as Ling Yu had guessed, although the Sons of Chaos of the 4 sacred sects had heard of the news that she had pretended to accidentally leak, they did not take it seriously at all. Even if they took it seriously and reported it to the higher-ups, they would not pay too much attention to it. After all, which of the 4 sacred sects did not have their own special intelligence channels? Compared to these baseless rumors, they naturally believed in the information provided by their own intelligence department. 3 days passed quickly. On the third night, Tsing Hui appeared outside the Flying Snow Island. The Flying Snow Island did not change much compared to before. However, Tsing Hui, who had been secretly monitoring the Flying Snow Island for the past 3 days, noticed something unusual behind the calmness. On the surface, the Flying Snow Island looked calm, but the entire Flying Snow Island was secretly on alert. If I'm right, how could the Create-Evolved Mysterious Sect not have any spies in the 4 Saint Sects? The 4 Saint Sects couldn't verify the information that I sent to them, so they didn't take it seriously. However, this information will make the Create-Evolved Mysterious Sect suspicious. Moreover, they only have a few spies in the 4 Saint Sects intelligence department, so it's easy for them to suspect that the 4 Saint Sects are trying to cover it up. For safety reasons, they'll naturally strengthen the defense of the Flying Snow Island. At this time, I only need to think of a way to attack the Flying Snow Island and lure the people there to the 4 Saint Sects territory. I'm not afraid that they won't panic. Tsing Hui's plan was not brilliant. It was just an ambush. However, there was a unique advantage in his plan. The Sun Golden Crow technique. The divine skill was as powerful as the Sun Golden Crow technique of an Immortal Realm Level 6 expert. If an Immortal Realm Level 6 expert from the Jin Wu religion attacked the Flying Snow Island, it would definitely cause a commotion. The only thing he had to be careful of was Xuanyangzi and Xianyinzi, who were guarding the Flying Snow Island. However, he believed that Xuanyangzi and Xianyinzi would be worried that the experts of the 4 sacred sects were lying in ambush or luring the tiger away from the mountain. Therefore, they would not dare to chase after him. At best, they would only send one person. What he needed to do was to smoothly escape to the 4 sacred sects' encampment before the divine technique ended, so that the battle between the two sides would break out. Xuanyangzi and Xuanyinzi awakened the bloodlines of Winning Fish and Fire Shell respectively. They are proficient in the power of water and fire. Xuanyangzi's Fire Shell bloodline is good at defense in addition to fire attacks. A gleam flashed through Qing Su's eyes. Then, when attacking the Flying Snow Island, he had to display a powerful enough attack that Xianyinzi could not defend against but Xianyangzi could. Lingyu, have you prepared the rumors from the Wuji Sword sect? Tsing Hui summoned Lingyu again and asked. I've already spread the news that the Creation Mystical sect will attack the Wuji Sword sect at night. However, this news is the same as the others. No one believes it. Lingyu sounded helpless. Then, she asked hesitantly, Young master, do you really not need me to go to the Snowfall Island to help you? No need. Just spread the news. The Wuji Sword sect may not believe it now, but they will soon. With that, Qing Su directly leapt into the bottom of the sea, using the power of the Water Avoidance Pearl to make his way towards Flying Snow Island. However, before he stepped onto the Flying Snow Island, a green netherworld realm powerhouse who had awakened the spirit beast, the Cloud Dolphin, opened his eyes. My soundwave detected someone coming to our Flying Snow Island from the bottom of the sea. There's one of them. The man's words stunned the elders in charge of guarding the island. One of the blue netherworld realm elders, who was at the same level as him, said in disbelief, one person. Elder Yutong, could you have sensed wrongly? It's only a fish and not a human cultivator. If the 4 Saint Sects want to attack the Flying Snow Island, they wouldn't send only one person. It's indeed only one person. Don't you all believe in my talent? Elder Yutong was dissatisfied. Wait, a few days ago, our spy sent a message from the 4 Saint Sects, saying that the 4 Saint Sects suspected that the dark female pearl from the Flying Snow Island had arrived. Could it be that the 4 Saint Sects really believed this news and sent someone to intercept the dark female pearl? Another elder interjected. Dark female pearl? If the other party is here for the dark female pearl, then the people sent out would definitely not be weak. At the very least, they would be existences of the Grand Supreme Elder level. Oh no, he's speeding up. Quick, quickly informed the two Grand Supreme Elders. Elder Yutong suddenly exclaimed. In the next moment, a fiery red figure suddenly shot out of the ocean 3 kilometers away from Flying Snow Island, kicking up huge waves. It was like a flaming meteor. With the help of the flying sword, it tore through the sky and shot towards the Gate of Destinies on Flying Snow Island as a visible streak of fiery red light. How dare you! Before the sword light could strike the Gate of Destinies, a furious roar came from the direction of the Gate of Destinies. Following that, 2 terrifying auras came from the direction of the Gate of Destinies. Accompanied by the vast heaven and earth energy, an invisible giant hand and a wave formed entirely from Yuan Qi collided with the flaming meteor that was shooting through the void. Roar! Just as the 3 forces were about to collide, a loud and clear cry came from the flaming meteor. A golden crow phantom that emitted a terrifying aura suddenly appeared. Endless heat poured down, causing countless trees and buildings on the Flying Snow Island to spontaneously combust. The temperature in the air was refined into a furnace under the heat of the Golden Crow Phantom. It was as if a scorching sun had appeared in the dark night, illuminating the sky. Golden Crow. Golden Crow. It's the Jin Wu religion's Great Sun Golden Crow technique. This power. Immortality Stage 6. It's definitely an Immortality Stage 6. Could it be that the Supreme Elder of the Jin Wu religion, Fenjiujue, is here personally? The Jin Wu religion is really daring. Our creation mystical sect didn't take care of them, and they dare to come here. Are they trying to start a war with our creation mystical sect? Uncontrollable roars came from the Flying Snow Island. The creation mystical sect's experts were either shocked or furious, but none of them were afraid. Rumble. Amidst the shocked gasps of the crowd, the Golden Crow's shadow that seemed to tear through the heavens collided head-on with the attacks of the 2 Grand Elders from the Gate of Destinies. The terrifying collision that did not hold back at all immediately made the sky above Flying Snow Island explode like a resplendent sun. Endless light and heat radiated out endlessly. Even though the invisible hand and the waves condensed from energy constantly tried to extinguish the terrifying might in the attack, the ripples of energy still swept across Flying Snow Island in a mighty manner. It basically flattened a small portion of the island in the direction Qing Su had come from. Countless sturdy pieces of ground were burnt to a crisp. After the attack, the flaming meteor-like figure didn't stop at all. In the next moment, an even more terrifying power was brewing in his body. This time, it was aimed at the Gate of Creation that hadn't been fully built yet. People of the Jin Wu religion, how dare you? How dare you destroy the Gate of Creation of my Flying Snow Island? I, Xian Yinzi, will not let this go. Xian Yinzi and Xian Yangzi's furious roars came from below the Gate of Creation. At this moment, they had just reacted to Tsing Hui's sudden attack. Unfortunately, their shouts didn't stop Tsing Hui's attack at all. Sun glory. As this voice reverberated in the void, a blazing sun rose slowly in the void, as if it had shone to its peak. Then, at its brightest and most dazzling moment, it suddenly exploded. It swept up a destructive aura like that of the end of the world, and directly hit the Gate of Creation that hadn't been fully built yet. No. An angry roar sounded. Rumble. The light and heat that were not inferior to the eternal blazing sun instantly filled the area within a radius of 100 kilometers, illuminating the entire night as if it were daytime. Even those who were more than 100 kilometers away could see the boundless light bursting out from the surface of the sea. Countless powerhouses were alarmed one after another. The violent heatwave raged wildly on the Flying Snow Island. The Gate of Creation, which had just been built 90% and could be activated with the arrival of the Dark Female Pearl, was on the verge of collapse in the face of this extremely terrifying and destructive force. A moment later, the huge oval-shaped arched door collapsed with a loud bang. Countless precious building materials were destroyed one after another and fell to the ground. They were then incinerated into ashes by the blazing shockwaves that swept across. It's actually so weak, Looking at the collapsing gate of creation, Xing Hui, who had used up 90% of his energy and was constantly gasping for breath, was stunned. However, he quickly realized, I've gone too far. Whoosh! Without any hesitation, he activated his sixth-order flying sword and directly exploded his speed to the extreme. In an instant, he tore through the sonic boom and flew in the direction of the Wuji sword sect. People of the Jin Wu religion, I want you dead. Almost at the same time as he turned to flee, Xuanyangzi's enraged roar rang out from the flying snow island. Xuanyangzi's figure immediately shot up from the flying snow island, which was burning with endless flames and ravaged beyond recognition by the destructive shockwave. He viciously chased after Xing Hui at his maximum speed. The power of Xing Hui's attack just now was no weaker than the true eternal blazing sunday. As for the eternal blazing sun, if a dozen or even a few of them were detonated together, it would be a terrifying existence that could kill a saint stage expert. It was the most advanced strategic resource. The Jin Wu religion's use of the eternal blazing sun was equivalent to the Hunyuan Heaven sect, the Six Paths of God and Demons, the Wuji Sword sect, and the Create Evolved Mysterious sect sending out saint stage experts. This was the rhythm of an all-out war. Not to mention that Xing Hui had used this attack to destroy a medium-sized gate of creation of the Create Evolved Mysterious sect. Even if the most valuable item in this medium-sized gate of creation, the Dark Female Pearl, had not been delivered, the destruction of a gate of creation that had taken nearly a month to build was still a huge loss to these people. How could this not make them go crazy with anger? Two figures streaked across the void, one in front and one behind. At 3 times the speed of sound, they tore through the void for hundreds of kilometers. Excellent Mountain Island, where the experts of the Wuji Sword sect were stationed, in the distance. Chapter 196. Excellent Mountain Island. The overseas combat headquarters of the Wuji Sword sect. In order to deal with the pressure from the Create Evolved Mysterious sect, the Wuji Sword sect had sent a total of 3 great elders overseas to oversee the situation. 2 of them were stationed here, while the last one accompanied Jian Ying's envoy in the Hunyuan Heaven sect's defensive area. Because Excellent Mountain Island was less than 300 kilometers away from the Flying Snow Island, it could be said to be extremely close. Although the drastic changes on the Flying Snow Island were difficult to see with the naked eye, they could still vaguely hear the dazzling flashes at the end of the pitch-black night sky. Even if they had not received the detailed information, the 2 great elders guarding the Excellent Mountain Island, the Bright Sun Sword King and the Cold Moon Sword King, immediately rose into the air and looked toward the Flying Snow Island from afar. What happened? It seems that there's a problem on the Flying Snow Island, such a huge commotion, and such a phenomenon of fire filling the sky. Could it be the Jin Wu religion's eternal blazing sun? The 2 great elders, the Bright Sun Sword King and the Cold Moon Sword King, were bewildered. The eternal blazing sun is unlikely. It's a strategic resource of the Jin Wu religion, and its status is equivalent to several sword grandmaster level elders of the Wuji Sword sect. Once such a level of power is used, it's not a simple local conflict, but a full-scale war. Although the Jin Wu religion has accumulated a lot of resources, it's absolutely impossible for them to start a war with the Create Evolved Mysterious sect without discussing it with us. As the Bright Sun Sword King spoke, he immediately summoned a green netherworld elder. Elder Pin, immediately bring people to the Flying Snow Island to investigate. I want to know what happened. Yes. Elder Pin, who received the order, responded and quickly did as he was told. The Cold Moon Sword King, on the other hand, said thoughtfully, although the Jin Wu religion's eternal blazing sun is a strategic resource, it's ultimately not a true saint expert. If only 1 or 2 eternal blazing suns were detonated, it might not cause a full-scale war. It's not like the Jin Wu religion hasn't used this trump card before. I'm thinking, could it be that a law king or even a great elder of the Jin Wu religion discovered some important information, but was trapped by the Create Evolved Mysterious sect Xuanyangzi and had no choice but to use the eternal blazing sun to escape? What important information did they discover? Bright Sun Sword King was slightly startled. Then, as if he had thought of something, his expression suddenly changed. Not long ago, I seem to have heard a rumor that the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect would secretly transport the 3 dark female pearls to the Flying Snow Island today. Could it be, this news is true? A certain Dharmaraja or Grand Elder of the Golden Crow sect had no choice but to return quickly and use the eternal blazing sun to block the enemy's retreat because they discovered this secret? The Cold Moon Sword King also understood the seriousness of the matter. The dark female pearls are the key to activating the Gate of Creation. Once the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect activates the medium-sized Gate of Creation on these 3 islands, they will be in an invincible position. Unless the 4 sacred sects are willing to start a full-scale war, these 3 islands will be like 3 nails nailed into the sea, and we can't do anything about it. Although the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect was vigorously developing their forces overseas and constantly building gates of creation, the area of construction was usually near the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect's territory. The cold snow island in front of them was 34,000 kilometers inland, and that was where the Jin Wu religion was located. The Jin Wu religion bordered the Wuji Sword sect. If the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect used this sea as a springboard to invade the Jin Wu religion, and then establish a firm foundation in the Jin Wu religion, they could move the battlefield to the Wuji Sword sect's doorstep. Quick, 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 send someone over and investigate what happened. Zhui Ming, Hua Feng, you 2 follow Elder Pin to the Flying Snow Island and find out what happened. Did the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect really transport the dark female pearls to the Flying Snow Island? Zhui Ming and Hua Feng were both in the Green Netherworld realm, and they knew very well what would happen if the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect really transported the dark female pearls to the Flying Snow Island. With the dark female pearls, the gates of creation on the Cold Snow Island, Flying Snow Island, and Floating Snow Island would be fully activated in less than 3 days. By then, all the efforts of the 4 sacred sects in this sea area would be wasted, and they would lose face in front of the Sword Shadow Emissary. This was not something the Wuji Sword sect could tolerate. Elders, look! Just as the 2 supreme elders gave their orders at the same time, one of the elders seemed to have noticed something, and he suddenly pointed to the horizon and shouted. There was a fiery red flowing light that seemed to have flashed across the void and arrived at a rapid speed. Behind the fiery red flowing light, there was a figure that was following closely and constantly unleashing powerful attacks. It directly forced the fiery red figure that was obviously only at the Green Hell realm to the brink of death. That aura. Is it the Great Sun Golden Crow skill? An expert from the Jin Wu religion. The pursuer is Xuanyangzi, who is stationed on the Flying Snow Island. The expert from the Jin Wu religion must have noticed something, and Xuanyangzi wants to kill him. Oh no, that Jin Wu religion expert can't hold on any longer. Seeing this, Cold Moon Sword King suddenly jumped up, broke through the sound barrier on his sword, and attacked Xuanyangzi. Cold Moon, be careful. Let's go together. Seeing Cold Moon Sword King attack, Bright Sun Sword King roared and flew up on his sword, tearing through the sound barrier, and attacked the 2 figures who were fighting and retreating in the void. Ha! At the end of the horizon, Xuanyangzi, who was chasing after the fiery red figure, seemed to have noticed that Cold Moon Sword King and Bright Sun Sword King were coming at him one after another. When he saw the 2 of them, he knew that if he could not kill the thief who destroyed the Gate of Good Fortune, he would not have the chance to do so. At that moment, he took a deep breath, and a mountain-like Huabei shadow appeared behind him. His aura soared several times, and a destructive force was born. A terrifying heatwave, which was even more overbearing than the Great Sun Golden Crow skill, swept across the void. Battle Constitution. Battle Constitution. Xuanyangzi actually manifested his battle constitution. Bright Sun Sword King, who was chasing closely, was shocked. Run! Run! Run to the sea! Cold Moon Sword King roared. 2 supreme elders of the Wuji Sword sect, the dark female pearl of the Creation Mysterious sect has arrived. Fight back quickly. Otherwise, you will not have another chance. Just as the destructive blow of Xuanyangzi's battle constitution was about to land, the fiery red figure suddenly shouted. Before Cold Moon Sword King and Bright Sun Sword King could reply, Xuanyangzi's battle constitution finally struck. For a moment, a burst of dazzling light exploded in the void again, and a terrifying force that was enough to make an Immortal Realm 6 expert tremble in fear was fully unleashed. Even though the fiery red figure seemed to escape to the bottom of the sea at the last moment, and tried to use the power of the sea to offset Xuanyangzi's burning attack, it was still useless. Endless light and destructive aura completely engulfed the space within a few thousand meters. Xuanyangzi. Damn it, Cold Moon Sword King and Bright Sun Sword King were furious when they saw Xuanyangzi kill the Green Hell Realm expert who obviously belonged to the Jin Wu religion in front of them. They tore the void apart at the fastest speed, and instantly engaged in a battle with Xuanyangzi. Xuanyangzi did not have time to check whether the thief was dead or not, and was immediately attacked by Cold Moon Sword King and Bright Sun Sword King, who were both Immortal Realm 6 experts. He had no time to be distracted, and tried his best to withstand the attacks of the two Supreme Elders. He fought and retreated, and fled in the direction of the Flying Snow Island. Half an hour later, the Radiant Sun Sword King and the Cold Moon Sword King returned to the sea area. Their faces were filled with joy and regret. Elders. As soon as the two returned, many elders who stayed on Excellent Mountain Island all came to greet them. How was it? Did you find the Jin Wu religion expert? Bright Sun Sword King could not wait to ask, and his expression was quite solemn. The leader of the Green Hell Realm experts looked embarrassed. After a while, he said, the Jin Wu religion expert seems to be only at the Green Hell Realm, and not at the peak of the Green Hell Realm. Facing the attack of the Supreme Elder of the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect, Xuanyangzi, his chances of survival are less than 10%. When the two Supreme Elders were chasing after Xuanyangzi, I had already sent people to search this area, but they did not find any trace of him, although Bright Sun Sword King could imagine it, he could not help but show a look of regret on his face. The attack of an Immortal Realm 6 expert with his battle body is not something a Green Hell Realm expert can withstand. Even the Green Hell Realm expert of the Jin Wu religion who has a strong resistance to fire. If I'm not wrong, he probably died under Xuanyangzi's attack. Cold Moon Sword King also sighed. It's a pity, although he is far away, I can see that the boy is not very old. He cultivated to the Green Hell Realm at such a young age, and also made a great contribution by destroying a gate of creation. If he does not die, he will be put in an important position by the Jin Wu religion in the future, and will have a meteoric rise. Now is not the time to feel sorry for the Jin Wu religion expert. We should pass the news here to the Supreme Elders of the Jin Wu religion, the Green Lotus Sword sect, and the Hunyuan Heaven sect as soon as possible. According to the news of the Jin Wu religion expert's death, it is not difficult to guess that the rumor is true. Today is the day that the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect secretly sent the Dark Female Pearl to Flying Snow Island. Unfortunately, the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect did a good job of keeping it a secret, so we did not receive any news. The only news we received was that we did not pay attention to it because it came from an improper source. This time, we must act immediately. If we do not find a way to destroy the Create Evolve Mysterious Sects 3, the two gates of creation, when the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect truly activates it, our days will be difficult. The Cold Moon Sword Monarch rationally said. Elder, isn't it a little too reckless for us to gather the Supreme Elders of the other three sects now? After all, we can't be sure whether the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect has the Dark Female Pearl, we don't even know if that person is from the Jin Wu religion. Hua Feng, who was in charge of investigating the news, hesitated for a moment and carefully guessed. That green netherworld realm cultivator used the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, and it is very likely that he has cultivated it to the 5th level. Isn't this enough to prove that he is from the Jin Wu religion's upper echelon? As for the authenticity of the news, we don't have that much time. The Create Evolve Mysterious sect only needs 2 or 3 days to activate the Gate of Creation after obtaining the Dark Female Pearl. Once they activate the Gate of Creation, everything will be over. Therefore, Cold Moon is right. Immediately informed the Supreme Elders of the Hunyuan Heaven sect, the Jin Wu religion, and the Green Lotus Sword sect to come over. We must launch a round of attacks. Let's not talk about completely destroying the Create Evolve Mysterious sect, but the 2 completed gates of creation must be destroyed. The Bright Moon Sword King waved his hand unquestionably. There is no time to lose. Immediately invite them over. Chapter 197. In an ocean hundreds of kilometers away from Excellent Mountain Island, a figure abruptly rushed out of the water and landed on a shallow reef that could only be called a group of reefs. He was constantly gasping for breath and looked extremely miserable. It was Tsing Hui. With a flip of his hand, a dimly glowing orb appeared in his hand. Through the pearl, one could faintly see the cracks on it. Fortunately, this unique treasure was different from other treasures. Even if there were cracks, as long as he slowly injected his fire pneuma into it, it would be able to absorb high-quality fire pneuma and automatically repair the cracks. However, it was not suitable to use it in a short period of time. Otherwise, if there was another wave of fire attribute attacks at the 70th level, even if the Young Devouring Bead was a 6th level high-grade unique treasure, it would only be destroyed. I didn't expect the attack to reach such a level after manifesting the battle body. Without manifesting the battle body, the attack level of the 6th realm of immortality is around level 60, but once manifesting the battle body, even the weakest battle body can reach level 70. No wonder it's said that the 6th realm of immortality can compete with the Saint realm. After manifesting the battle body, their attack, defense, and speed are not lower than that of the Saint realm. The only difference is their endurance. The 6th realm of immortality can only last for a few breaths or a dozen breaths, while the Saint realm can complete a battle that lasts for half an hour in the state of manifesting the battle body. Tsing Hui thought of the last attack of Xuanyangzi when he manifested the battle body, and couldn't help but feel a lingering fear. Although the 6th realm of immortality was not in the category of the Saint realm, several 6th realm of immortality experts could also defeat or even seriously injure a Saint realm giant. Of course, if it was a one-on-one fight, dozens of 6th realm of immortality experts were not enough to defeat a Saint realm giant. It was extremely dangerous this time. I underestimated the battle power of the 6th realm of immortality experts after manifesting the divine body. If I didn't choose Xuanyangzi, who cultivates fire techniques, have the Young Devouring Bead, the Golden Flame Armor, and my Great Sun Golden Crow technique which also has a good fire resistance, I might have lost my life this time. I have to be careful in the future. I can't be impulsive before I know the enemy's situation. Tsing Hui secretly judged himself. Fortunately, the plan seemed to have succeeded. The Wuji Sword sect already believed that the Create Evolve Mysterious sect had secretly transported the Dark Female Pearl over. To prevent the Create Evolve Mysterious sect from opening the remaining 2 medium-sized gates of fortune, the Wuji Sword sect, the Hunyuan Heaven sect, the Green Lotus Sword sect, and the Golden Crow sect would join forces and launch an all-out attack on the Create Evolve Mysterious sect. At the very least, the 2 gates of fortune on the floating Snow Island and the frigid Snow Island could no longer be built in peace. Next, I need to recuperate and wait for the big show to begin. Qing Su recovered some strength and rose up on his sword, flying away from Excellent Mountain Island. It wouldn't be long before all the islands within a 1,000-kilometer radius with Cold Snow Island as the center would be included in the battle range of the 5 sacred sects. In order to prevent himself from being affected, it was better for him to leave this area. The final situation was not beyond Tsing Hui's expectations. Knowing that the Create Evolve Mysterious sect had secretly transported the Dark Female Pearl to the drifting Snow Island and the frigid Snow Island, the 4 sacred sects were naturally anxious. After a day of discussion and integration, the four sacred sects had a total of 8 Immortality Realm experts of the four sacred sects, along with a large number of Green Darkness Realm and Syncretic Spirit Realm experts, headed straight for the Frigid Snow Island and the Drifting Snow Island. The Create Evolve Mysterious Sects Spiritual Master Huasu, Spiritual Master Dragon Soul, and the others were really helpless. They had planned to secretly send the Dark Female Pearl over, but this plan had yet to be put into action. Now, the four sacred sects had mistakenly thought that they could use the power of the Dark Female Pearl to activate the Gate of Good Fortune, and had come over aggressively. They really had no way to defend themselves. However, with the Create Evolve Mysterious Sects' arrogance and their original purpose of coming here was to cause trouble for the four sacred sects, they could not be bothered to explain anything to their enemies to avoid lowering their own morale. Without much hesitation, they could only attack. However, because an elder of the Jin Wu religion had attacked the Flying Snow Island, the situation had rapidly deteriorated. The Create Evolve Mysterious Sects members naturally hated the Jin Wu religion's cultivators to the core. After the battle broke out, they especially targeted the Jin Wu religion. This result made the Jin Wu religion's members who had not figured out which Guardian King had attacked the Flying Snow Island a little confused. When the battle broke out, the flames of war swept across hundreds of kilometers of the sea. Many Unity of Spirit Realm, Green Darkness Realm, and even prominent Sage Realm experts flew into the sky and dove into the ground. The aftermath of destruction swept across the sea, causing countless tsunamis in the sea. Many small islands were completely uprooted and razed to the ground after being turned into a battlefield. However, the five sacred sects had existed for a long time. Even if a full-scale conflict broke out in the sea, they still maintained a certain level of restraint. At least, although the Immortality Realm 6 experts were constantly fighting, they rarely revealed their battle physiques to kill. Of course, this was not the case when dealing with the Grand Supreme Elder of the Jin Wu religion. When they attacked, it was usually to save the Green Darkness Realm and Unity of Spirit Realm elders who were in danger. They rarely took the initiative to attack. Even so, when so many Unity of Spirit Realm and Green Darkness Realm experts gathered together and broke out in a battle, many forces in the sea trembled with fear. Those island masters who had originally thought that they had some influence in the sea were actually the weakest among the five sacred sects' Unity of Spirit Realm experts. After witnessing with their own eyes that the Unity of Spirit Realm experts were actually the weakest among the five sacred sects, they kept quiet out of fear and no longer dared to be arrogant and despotic. As for the forces that were closer to the battlefield, they moved away from the sea as they were afraid that the five sacred sects would really fight and expand the battlefield, including the forces on their islands. Xing Hui stayed at the edge of the battlefield for half a month. In the end, he returned to the Life League with regret. I thought that the five sacred sects would really fight and it would be best if a few Immortality Realm 6 Supreme Elders died. But now it seems that, those who died were still mostly Unity of Spirit Realm elders. After more than 10 days, less than 10 Green Darkness Realm experts died. Although it's called a great battle, in reality, they were very restrained. The only thing that can be considered as a result of the battle is that they destroyed the Gate of Fortune that was already built on the Floating Snow Island and the Cold Snow Island, causing the Create Evolve Mysterious sect to lose a lot of resources. However, the so-called "a lot of resources" was relative. The construction of a medium-sized Gate of Destinies was enough to bankrupt the entire Life Moon Alliance. However, to the Creation Mystical sect, which occupied 1/3 of the continent and sea region, such a loss was still within an acceptable range, even though it wasn't a small loss. Not long after Xing Hui departed for the Shaoyang Sea City where the Life League was located, a flying Dharma artifact that was burning with raging flames appeared at the end of the horizon. It streaked across a large amount of smoke and dust as it fell toward the sea. Large amounts of flames erupted as it smashed into the sea. That flying Dharma artifact's grade isn't low. It's already at the level of a sacred winged golden rock. An upper-grade level 4 flying Dharma artifact was a huge burden even for a Green Darkness Realm expert. Ling Yu was able to use a sacred winged golden rock when she was at the Unity of Spirit realm. On one hand, she was a son of chaos and could not be measured by an ordinary Unity of Spirit realm cultivator. On the other hand, it was because she had done a lot of business without any capital and had accumulated a lot of Taoist rhymes. Seeing the sacred winged golden rock fall, Xing Hui turned around and went straight to where the sacred winged golden rock had fallen. However, before Xing Hui could reach where the sacred winged golden rock was, a figure had already shakily flown out on a sword from the sacred winged golden rock. Although this figure looked very miserable at this moment, and there were many bloodstains on his body, it could still be seen from his handsome and elegant appearance that he must have been a handsome man with a graceful demeanor before. When Xing Hui flew in this direction, the heavily injured man also looked at Xing Hui. When Xing Hui saw the young man's appearance clearly, he could not help but be stunned. Wen Hui. The haggard man in front of him was actually the vice-sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect, Wen Hui, who was in charge of managing the affairs of the Life Alliance. Wen Hui was a little surprised when Xing Hui called out his name. He was not in a very good state at the moment, especially when he saw Xing Hui's clothes, which were clearly of an overseas style. He immediately said in a deep voice, "Judging from your appearance, you should be an island master of an overseas island. My Green Lotus Sword sect is currently in need of people. If you are willing, why don't you submit to me? Since you know my identity, you naturally understand the benefits of submitting to me. If I can take another step forward in the future and reach the prominent divinity stage, I will be the new sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect. At that time, all of you will be my subordinates." Submit. In the past half a month of watching the battle, he had seen clearly that those who died in the battle of the 5 sacred sects were basically Unity of Spirit realm experts who were not direct descendants of the 5 sacred sects. Clearly, in the minds of the 5 sacred sects, although they would extend an olive branch to the elders of the 5 sacred sects, their purpose was to use them as cannon fodder in the battle. Xing Hui chuckled. Before Wen Hui could figure out the reason behind his chuckle, Xing Hui suddenly took a step forward. The golden crow's sword was brazenly unsheathed, and the red yang zhen qi rolled up a terrifying and blazing torrent that crushed down on Wen Hui. Before the sword arrived, the surging torrent had already caused Wen Hui's face to change greatly. "How dare you!" Wen Hui roared, and the gang qi in his body burst forth. However, he had obviously just escaped from the battlefield of the 5 sacred sects, and his injuries were extremely serious. Facing Xing Hui's red yang zhen qi, which had already reached the initial level of the Unity of Spirit realm, it was simply impossible for him to resist. The gang qi that he had activated could not last for more than half a breath before it was shattered by the red yang zhen qi. The golden crow sword swept up the mighty power of the red yang zhen qi, and in an instant, it pierced through the upper-grade armor on his body and his entire body. Damn it, when Wen Hui saw that the opponent did not hesitate to kill him after calling out his name, he immediately understood that he was in extreme danger today. Without hesitation, he took out a lower-grade 6th-level flying sword and was about to use all his strength to escape. "Do you think you can escape?" Xing Hui quickly took out a upper-grade 6th-level flying sword and caught up with Wen Hui's figure. The blazing torrent of divine-level gang qi completely enveloped Wen Hui's body. Chapter 198. Who the hell are you? You've cultivated divine-grade astral qi and reached the advanced stage of spirit and qi unity. You're definitely not a nobody from overseas. Xing Hui was piloting the sacred winged dragon hawk. Wen Hui was in excruciating pain, and his injuries were extremely serious. He collapsed in a pool of blood, his eyes filled with anger and unwillingness. Deputy Sect Master Wen Hui. Xing Hui stood in front of Wen Hui, sighing inwardly. Wen Hui was the Deputy Sect Master of the Green Lotus Sword sect of the 10 Great Sections. Although the Green Lotus Sword sect was at the bottom of the 10 great sects, and the Deputy Sect Master was still a step away from the Sect Master, the scene before him had undoubtedly changed too much when he thought of the enmity of a true disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven sect a few years ago. Who the hell are you? You don't need to know who I am. You only need to know that you've already violated my taboo by reaching out overseas and trying to plunder overseas experts. Wen Hui was extremely intelligent to be able to become the deputy sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect. He quickly guessed something. You want to unify the overseas? Do you represent an individual or a faction? You've cultivated divine-grade astral chi, so there must be a huge faction behind you. It's impossible for an unaffiliated cultivator to reach this stage, but your astral chi doesn't belong to any of the 10 great sections. Don't let your imagination run wild. I said that my origin isn't important. The key is whether Deputy Sect Master Wen Hui wants to live or not. Wen Hui's expression darkened. Of course I want to live. Our Green Lotus Sword sect only wanted to recruit more spirit and chi uniting realm experts to prevent the sect from not having enough experts to contribute when there is a conflict between the sect and other forces. Since our Green Lotus Sword sect's actions have violated your interests, then we are willing to compensate you and promise to withdraw from the sea and never meddle in the affairs of the sea again. As for the Life League that our Green Lotus Sword sect has just established, we can also hand it over to you and let you rule it. You don't need to worry about the Life Moon Alliance. Wen Hui seemed to have finally thought of something, and his expression suddenly changed. Your island master Tsing Hui of Dragon Slaying Island? Not long ago, Zhou Xiao from the Life League sent a message saying that the situation in the Life League had changed. It was you. Vice Sect Master Wen Hui still hasn't figured out the main point. Right now, your life is in my hands. You'd better think about how you're going to survive first. Don't tell me you think I won't dare to kill you because I'm afraid of your Green Lotus Sword sect. Wen Hui's face was slightly pale. With the ability Tsing Hui had shown, even if the Green Lotus Sword sect really wanted to kill him, he only needed to hide in an area close to the outer sea, and the people of the Green Lotus Sword sect would not be able to do anything to him. Overseas was different from inland. This place had always been a chaotic and ownerless place. Otherwise, it wouldn't have become a gathering place for the exiles who had offended the 10 sacred sections. What do you want? If my information is correct, you are a Tier 6 Son of Chaos. You want my Chaos Incantation? No, I'm not interested in your Chaos Incantation. It's just that since the Green Lotus Sword sect intends to reach overseas, it naturally won't stop once or twice. Even if I steal your Chaos Incantation and kill you, the Green Lotus Sword sect will still send people over, but I don't have that much time to deal with the cultivators of your Green Lotus Sword sect one by one. Therefore, I want to solve this problem once and for all, and the easiest way to solve this problem is undoubtedly to make the cultivators in charge of overseas affairs my people. When Wen Hui heard this, his expression immediately turned ugly, but he said without hesitation, You want to recruit me? Make me work for you. Alright, I promise you. Then how do I have to trust you? I, Wen Hui, am a person of status. How can I go back on my word? I can swear to the heavens. Tsing Hui looked at Wen Hui and shook his head without hesitation. He knew very well that this so-called oath had no binding effect on the deputy sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect. As soon as he let him go, he would immediately turn around and summon the great elder of the Green Lotus Sword sect, Shuo Guang, to kill his way to Dragon Slaying Island and uproot the entire island. As I said, you are a son of chaos. If you want to solve this problem, you can only start from this aspect. If you can swear a chaos oath with me, I can naturally give you a way out. Chaos oath? Swearing a chaos oath requires 50 Dao rhymes. How can I have that? Wen Hui said earnestly, Island Master Tsing Hui, you can rest assured that I, Wen Hui, am a man of my word. If you don't believe me, you can ask around about my reputation. Up until now, which one of my promises have not been fulfilled? Sorry, I only believe in the Chaos Oath. If you can't swear a Chaos Oath, then I can only tell you regretfully that I will squeeze all the value out of you before you die, such as the Chaos Incantation and so on. When we arrive at Dragon Slaying Island, there will be professionals who will interrogate you. I hope you can withstand their interrogation methods. It's useless. For people like us who are only one step away from entering the core of the sect, a spiritual seed is usually planted in the depths of our spiritual world. Once we encounter danger, this seed will explode, causing us to fall into a mental breakdown and die on the spot. Not only that, once this spiritual seed explodes, the Great Elder who planted it will immediately notice it and find you based on the traces left behind. At that time, you will be hunted down by the Great Elder of the Green Lotus Sword sect. Therefore, it's wishful thinking for you to ask about the chaos incantation on me. The worst outcome is that both of us will die together. Is that so? It won't be too late after I interrogate you. As Tsing-Hui spoke, he directly found Ling Yu, who had been waiting for news in the Chaos Divine Palace, and told her about Wen-Hui. Ling Yu's expression became grave when she heard this. Young master, he's telling the truth. Basically, all the people who have come into contact with the core secrets of the sect have similar methods. This method is used to prevent the upper echelons of the sect from revealing the core secrets of the sect. As a result, unless he's willing to submit to you, it won't be easy for you to coerce him into following your will. As for Wen-Hui, he's the vice-sect master of the Green Lotus Sword sect. There's no need to doubt his loyalty. It's impossible for him to betray the Green Lotus Sword sect, so it won't be easy for you to use him to plot against the Green Lotus Sword sect. Tsing-Hui could not help but frown. He understood that he had thought too simply of the matter. Is there no other way? Ling Yu shook her head. Unless young master can get a top-notch powerhouse to forcibly remove the spirit seed in his spiritual world so that he can't commit suicide, his will might not be able to withstand the physical torture and will naturally choose to surrender. However, this kind of surrender is probably limited to giving up the chaos technique. We can't stop a person who's loyal to the sect from committing suicide. Ling Yu shook her head. Loyalty is more important than life. I have never truly seen Wen-Hui in person, but I believe that to be able to sit in the position of a vice-sect head, his character must have definitely gone through many tests. Otherwise, becoming a peak master or palace master would be the limit of what they can achieve. Ling Yu paused for a moment before continuing. However, I believe that everyone cherishes their own lives. No one is willing to die so easily unless they have no other choice. Why don't we not touch his bottom line at the beginning? Let's subdue him first, then take it one step at a time to slowly break down his loyalty and will to the sect until we completely control him in the end. Don't touch his bottom line at the beginning, Tsing-Hui pondered for a moment. I understand. The next moment, his gaze fell on Wen-Hui again. Vice-sect Master Wen, you don't have to force yourself. I believe that if you really wanted to die, you would have already detonated the spiritual seed in your spiritual world. The reason why you're indifferent is that you're not resigned to your fate and still want to live. Of course, it was not easy for me to become the deputy leader of the Green Lotus Sword sect. In the future, I still have a bright future and even have a chance to become the leader of the Green Lotus Sword sect. Of course, I am unwilling to die in vain. Wen-Hui spoke his thoughts bluntly. Very well, then, I think you can consider this oath. Tsing-Hui looked deeply at Wen-Hui, then wrote an oath and handed it to Wen-Hui. Everything I do is to protect myself. It's just that your Green Lotus Sword sect has infringed on the interests of my dragon-slaying island. As long as you agree to make this oath, from now on, you are not allowed to interfere with the development of our overseas. The forces of the Green Lotus Sword sect established overseas can only be an empty shell, and I can let you go. Wen-Hui took the oath that Tsing-Hui handed over. After reading it for a moment, his expression changed. I can promise you that you will no longer develop overseas and will be responsible for blocking the Green Lotus Sword sect's intervention overseas. However, I cannot promise you that you will hand over the Green Lotus Sword technique of the Green Lotus Sword sect. This is the supreme sword technique that our Green Lotus Sword sect has translated from the Green Lotus Divine Sword. It is also one of the most precious sword techniques of our Green Lotus Sword sect. If I spread it out, I will be heavily punished, heavily punished. With your identity as the deputy leader of the Green Lotus Sword sect, at most, you will be stripped of everything and reduced to an ordinary elder to atone for your crimes. It's not like you will be sentenced to death. On the contrary, if I let you go, I will be taking a huge risk. Once you pay the price of dropping 5 levels of chaos to violate the Chaos Oath and lead the great elders of the Green Lotus Sword sect to attack my dragon-slaying island, how can my small dragon-slaying island resist? The Green Lotus Sword technique is just a safeguard. Qing Su's face turned slightly cold when he reached there. If you're unwilling to agree to that, then feel free to detonate the soul seed in your mental world. The worst that can happen to me is abandoning my foundation on Dragon-Slaying Island and going to the edge of the outer sea, never to set foot in the territory of your Green Lotus Sword sect for the rest of my life. A hint of struggle appeared on Wen Hui's face. Life and death could be said to be in his hands. After a while, the desire to survive finally defeated the partial betrayal of the sect. He clenched his teeth. I can teach you the Green Lotus Sword technique, but there is one thing that must be written in the Chaos Oath. That is, you will never spread it out. Okay. Okay, I am willing to make the Chaos Oath. You have the Taoist rhyme, right? A hint of heartache flashed across Wen Hui's face. I can barely gather. Xing Hui looked as if he had expected this. Then, make the oath. Chapter 199. Vice Sect Master Wen, if you can keep your word, then I, Qing Su, can obviously do the same. As long as your Green Lotus Sword sect can assist me in maintaining the stability of the sea, I won't teach the Green Lotus Sword technique to anyone else. Xing Hui relaxed a little when he saw Wen Hui swear the Primal Chaos Oath. Vice Sect Master Wen is an extremely ambitious and capable person. You definitely won't be willing to destroy your future, right? Once you fall by 5 levels and become a first-order son of chaos, your potential will immediately drop by a large amount. As far as I know, the person with the highest chance of becoming the sect master in the entire Green Lotus Sword sect is Saintess Yen Yu, right? A rank 10 son of chaos and a cultivator of divine-grade astral chi. If it weren't for her slightly lower cultivation, the Green Lotus Sword sect would have already chosen her as the next sect master. If you really become a rank 1 son of chaos, you will have no hope of competing with her in the future. Wen Hui's complexion had not completely recovered, but his attitude had softened a little. Don't worry, as long as you don't seriously endanger the interests of my Green Lotus Sword sect, I will not violate the Primal Chaos Oath. Although operating overseas is an important strategy of our Green Lotus Sword sect, our strategy has already deviated after the end of the confrontation between the 5 great sections. In half a month, our Green Lotus Sword sect has lost 11 Spirit Chi Unity Elders and a Green Netherworld Stage Hall Master. Our Green Lotus Sword sect is a small sect. If we continue to cooperate with the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect, the Wuji Sword Sect, and the Create Evolved Mysterious Gate overseas, who knows how great our losses will be. After returning, I will propose to Grand Elder Shuaguang to withdraw from overseas and return to the mainland. Very good. Xing Hui nodded. In fact, if your Green Lotus Sword sect really needs the help of overseas forces, our Dragon-Slaying Island may be able to support you. Ha! Hearing Xing Hui's words, Wen Hui's expression changed slightly. Island Master Xing Hui means. You should be aware of the overseas environment. There are large numbers of ferocious beasts and sea beasts everywhere. Some of the stronger islands are still fine, but small islands are facing the threat of sea beasts almost all the time. Sometimes, the sea beasts will launch a large-scale attack, and even the Saint Stage overlords of the sea region will be mobilized. Such terrifying existences are far from what our overseas forces can withstand. Once such a thing happens, the survivors of the entire island will be less than 1 in 10. If not for the fact that we have no choice but to flee overseas, who would be willing to live such a precarious life in such a harsh environment overseas? After Xing Hui finished speaking, a smile appeared on his face. Creation Mysterious Sect, Limitless Sword Sect, and other overlord forces will not allow a giant force to appear overseas. But in order to survive, we have to work together to resist the sea beasts. Once our dragon-slaying island develops to a sufficient extent, it will inevitably be noticed by the Creation Mysterious Sect, Limitless Sword Sect, and other overlords. At that time, once the two overlords make up their minds to encircle and annihilate our dragon-slaying island, we will be defeated without any room for resistance. The Blood Dragon Island and Jinhai City established by the insufferably arrogant Blood Dragon King and Lord Jinhai are the best examples. Therefore, we naturally have to find a way out for ourselves. Xing Hui's words really made Wen Hui overjoyed. Originally, he thought that the Green Lotus Sword Sect's overseas expansion plan this time was about to fail, but he did not expect such a huge turn of events when he was about to give up on the overseas expansion plan. Don't worry, Island Master Qing Su. You've made the right decision. Our Green Lotus Sword Sect is one of the 10 great sacred sects, and we're the sect that's most proficient in development and defense. If Island Master Qing Su is truly willing to lead the people of Dragon Slaying Island to our Green Lotus Sword Sect, our Green Lotus Sword Sect won't fear anyone unless the Creation Mystical Gate and the Limitless Sword Sect come to our aid. The Green Lotus Sword is famous in the world, I naturally believe in this. Xing Hui nodded slightly. This is the basis of our cooperation with Deputy Sect Master Wen Hui. But you should also understand that although our dragon-slaying island has to find a way out for ourselves, this way must be stable. Although Deputy Sect Master Wen is a strong competitor for the next Sect Master of the Green Lotus Sword Sect, there is still the Saintess Yan Yu who is a great threat above you. In addition, although the 3 Deputy Sect Masters Chong Guang, Qiming, and Ying Dai are weaker than Deputy Sect Master Wen, they are not inferior by much. We need to see the situation of the Green Lotus Sword Sect clearly before making a final decision. When Wen Hui heard Xing Hui's words, he was not dissatisfied. Instead, he felt that this was the right idea of a powerful island master. A good bird chooses a good tree to nest in. No matter how powerful the island master was, he was still in a precarious situation. Once he was targeted by the top forces like the Creation Mysterious Sect, he would only end up dead. Didn't you see that the Blood Flood Dragon King and Lord Jinhai, who were so powerful in the past, were now trampled and had to flee to the area near the outer sea to survive? Therefore, Xing Hui's words did not arouse Wen Hui's suspicion. Island Master Xing Hui, although the Saintess Yan Yu has great potential, her cultivation is here. As long as she can't step into the Green Lotus realm, she can't compete for the Sect Master's throne. Who can guarantee the future? Over the years, there have been many top experts who have fallen halfway before they have grown up. Wen Hui looked at Xing Hui and said meaningfully in order to show his sincerity. Ha ha ha, Deputy Sect Master Wen is right. No matter how talented a cultivator is, if he has not grown up, he can only be called talented. What Deputy Sect Master Wen said is exactly what I think. Wen Hui nodded with a smile. He knew in his heart that in this world, there were no eternal enemies, only eternal interests. I have a deal that I want to make with Deputy Sect Master Wen. Deputy Sect Master Wen might as well consider it. I'd like to hear the details. Deputy Sect Master Wen should know that although the outer sea is barren, if you want to vigorously plunder, you can still collect a lot of resources. My dragon-slaying island has been conquering the outer sea these years, so we have a lot of spiritual stones left. Although there are many spiritual stones, there are only a few that can be used by me. Therefore, I have always wanted to find a channel to exchange the spiritual stones in my hands for spiritual crystals. However, the spiritual crystals and other minerals have always been in the hands of the 10 great holy sects, and they are rarely circulated. Even if they are circulated, the price of the spiritual stones is usually 1 to 200. 1 to 200? You are really a black-hearted businessman. The 10 great holy sects rarely circulate more than 1 to 150 spiritual crystals. Wen Hui said angrily. Xing Hui glanced at Wen Hui. He knew in his heart that although Wen Hui was angry, the real focus was the ratio revealed in his words. As expected, Wen Hui continued, "This is the first time I've worked with you, Island Master Qing Su. Naturally, I can't let our ally suffer a loss. How about this? If you have any supreme-grade spirit stones that you wish to exchange for spirit crystals, I'm willing to exchange them with you at a rate of 140. 1 to 140, this price was naturally more generous than what he exchanged in the black market. However, within the Green Lotus Sword sect, Wen Hui believed that he could still make some profits. However, without these profits, how could Xing Hui enter the Green Lotus Sword sect step by step through Wen Hui and finally touch the Green Lotus Sword sect? Okay. Xing Hui nodded and glanced at Wen Hui. When Deputy Sect Leader Wen returns, I will send someone to discuss the details with you. It seems that Deputy Sect Leader Wen is eager to return, so I will not force you to stay. Then, please leave behind a chaos mark according to the oath. When the time comes, we can discuss some secrets in the Chaos Temple. Island Leader Xing Hui, please forgive me. After all, I am the Deputy Sect Leader of the Green Lotus Sword sect. If I disappear for too long, the experts of the Green Lotus Sword sect will definitely come looking for me. If I accidentally bump into Island Leader Xing Hui, it will be troublesome, Wen Hui said and handed a special chaos mark to Xing Hui. This is the way to open my personal space. Okay. Qing Su committed the imprint to memory. This was a rule within the Oath of Chaos, so he was not afraid of Wen Hui trying anything. He immediately waved his hand. Then we'll do as we say. Moreover, although Zhou Xiao of the Life Alliance is Vice Sect Master Wen's subordinate, I would like to ask Vice Sect Master Wen to give me a keepsake just in case something happens to the structure of the Life Alliance due to his sudden departure, just in case we don't know each other. Of course. Wen Hui nodded his head with some pain. A Green Hell Realm expert that he had painstakingly recruited and nurtured with great difficulty was given away in vain. Even for him, the Deputy Sect Master of the Green Lotus Sword sect, it could be said to be a great loss. However, the situation was beyond his control, so he had to take out a jade pendant. Island Leader Xing Hui, give this to Zhou Xiao and he will understand. Thank you for your understanding, Deputy Sect Leader Wen. Deputy Sect Leader Wen's injuries have not recovered, and the 5 sects battle in the sea area is not very peaceful. Do you need me to send Deputy Sect Leader Wen off? No need, no need. I can leave by myself. Moreover, I believe that the experts of the Green Lotus Sword sect who are looking for me are already on their way. I only need to send out a signal, and the experts of the Green Lotus Sword sect will be here soon. Xing Hui heard the hidden meaning in Wen Hui's words. He smiled. Okay, Deputy Sect Leader Wen, take care. Goodbye. Wen Hui cupped his hands at Xing Hui and could not wait to soar into the sky. Soon, he disappeared into the horizon. Deputy Sect Leader of the Green Lotus Sword sect, Xing Hui revealed a playful smile. In the next moment, he turned around and headed toward the Life League. The matter of the Green Lotus Sword sect had been completely resolved. It was time to take control of the entire Life League. Ten Sha of Gojoseon, Zhou Xiao, and the Heavenly Dipper Great Saint, Yuan Fei, had the greatest backing of the Green Lotus Sword sect's Deputy Sect Leader Wen Hui. Now that Wen Hui had reached an agreement with him, if the two were sensible, he would take them into his force. If they still had other intentions, he could not blame them for acting according to the rules of the sea. Chapter 200. The Life Alliance. Zhou Xiao's face was filled with disbelief when he saw Xing Hui hand over the medallion he had obtained from Wen Hui. This is, President Zhou Xiao, I've already reached an agreement with Vice Sect Master Wen Hui. From today onwards, I'll be in charge of the Life Alliance. I don't want anything to happen to the Life Alliance when the time comes. Zhou Xiao glanced at the medallion in his hand and thought of how powerful Ling Yu, the son of chaos, was. In the end, he could only sigh helplessly. Don't worry, Alliance Master Xing Hui. I know what to do. Very good. You actually recruited Yuan Fei with the benefits of the Green Lotus Sword sect, right? Get ready. The Life Alliance will hold a plenary meeting tomorrow morning to discuss the future development of the Life Alliance. Yes. Zhuo Xiao responded and left Xing Hui's room with a gloomy expression. Ling Yu, Dan Tating, and Madame Zhu Yu walked in together not long after Zhuo Xiao left. Island Master. Xing Hui first looked at Ling Yu. How's the matter of recruiting Yu Xianchen, the master of the Moon Lake, to our side? Don't worry, young master. Yu Xianchen is different from Zhuo Xiao and Yuan Fei. Zhuo Xiao is a member of the Green Lotus Sword sect and can even be called half a follower of the Green Lotus Sword sect's deputy sect leader, Wen Hui. Yuan Fei is also a strong cultivator from overseas that he has invested heavily in. If you want to make them submit, you can only start with the Green Lotus Sword sect. However, Yu Xianchen is a genuine cultivator from overseas. She is very clear about the current situation. She knows that if she continues to fight against us, she will only end up dead. She has given us enough power to support her. Ling Yu said confidently. She added in the end, however, just like most powerhouses from overseas, Yu Xianchen can cooperate with us in battles that go smoothly, but once the Life Alliance is in danger, it's impossible for her to be loyal to the Life Alliance to the end. When the time comes, she'll definitely abandon us to protect herself. I don't have high hopes for her. I just need to borrow her reputation as the Moon Lake Master. As Xing Hui spoke, he turned to Dan Tating and asked, have you figured out the direction of the Life League's development? According to the Life Alliance's original plan, they should be developing towards the Great Mogu Strait. Even if the Heavenly Demon cult is there, the Green Lotus Sword sect's Supreme Elder would clearly move to uproot the Heavenly Demon cult when the Life Alliance reaches there. That said, if it were us, I would still recommend developing towards the outer seas. Qing Su nodded when he heard that. The direction of the Mogu Strait was in the direction of the Green Lotus Sword sect. Since the Green Lotus Sword sect was secretly supporting the Life Alliance, they naturally had to be close to the Green Lotus Sword sect. If the Life League could really conquer the Mogu Strait, it could even connect to the sea near the Green Lotus Sword sect, thus connecting the Green Lotus Sword sect and that sea. If we're heading towards the outer seas, the Life League should have quite a few opponents. Yes. If the Life League wants to develop inland, no one would be able to stop them. However, the closer they are to the inner seas, the greater the influence of the 10 sacred sects. Our dragon-slaying island's current forces aren't strong enough to challenge any of the 10 sacred sects. Even the Life League's supreme elders who are at the Unity of God realm would probably flee if they see that the situation isn't right. That's why the outer seas are far from the inner seas, and according to our research, we'll run into the least difficult battles if we take this path. The only ones standing in our way are the Maha sect, the Conch Island, and the Whale Nation. These three factions are backed by the Maha sect, the 15th on the Divine Dragon ranking, the 11th on the Zuluo Holy Mother, and the 6th on the Whale Nation. As Dan Tating spoke, he took out a sea map and spread it out on the table in front of Xing Hui. The Maha sect and the Zuluo Holy Mother are easy to deal with as their strength is on par with the Moon Lake Lord. However, the Whale Nation's king has reached the advanced stage of the Green Hell realm. His subordinates aren't weak and he has a lot of talents. It won't be easy for the dragon-slaying island to take him down with our current strength. Xing Hui said. There's no other path apart from this one. Although the other two paths can bypass the Whale Nation's king, they'll enter the territories of the original Island Lord and the Grand Island Lord. These two Island Lords aren't ranked high on the Divine Dragon ranking, around the 30th. However, they're backed by the Blood Dragon King and Lord Jinhai. They're the real overlords of the sea. The Blood Dragon King and Lord Jinhai. Xing Hui had naturally heard of these two giants who occupied the first and second spots on the Divine Dragon ranking. Both of them had once thought of unifying the sea, and had already consolidated most of their forces there. Moreover, they were ranked 10 Sons of Chaos of the Green Hell realm, and with the buff of their holy arts, they could hold their own against the venerated elders of the 10 sacred sects. Unfortunately, when their forces grew strong enough, they immediately attracted a thunderous blow from the 10 great sections. In the end, such a large force collapsed, and even they had to take a few core members to a distant area near the outer sea to recuperate. The original Island Lord and the Grand Island Lord were their trusted subordinates who had led them away. There's no hurry for Conch Island and the Whale Nation. Let's take down the Maha sect first, Sing Hui said. The Maha sect's king is ranked lower than the Moon Lake Lord, and he's the only Green Hell Realm expert in his sect. Let's leave this matter to the Moon Lake Lord and Yuan Fei. It shouldn't be difficult for them to defeat the Maha sect if they work together. As for Ling Yu, you and Zhou Xiao will take down the Sky Demon sect. Sing Hui's strategic direction left Ling Yu stunned. The Sky Demon sect. But they're close to the inland. Who said we're only going to develop in one direction? I want the Life Alliance to expand in every direction, not in a straight line. Tan Tai Ting turned pale with fright when he heard this. Island Lord, in this way, although the Life League can grow rapidly, it will also be easy for the 10 great saint sects to set their sights on us. Once the 10 great saint sects set their sights on us, we will be doomed. The Blood Dragon King and Lord Zhen Hai are examples. In their heyday, they had hundreds of syncretic spirit realm experts and dozens of green hell realm experts. They were far more powerful than the Life League now. However, such powerful forces were crushed into powder under the attack of the 10 great saint sects. They had to flee to the outer sea to prolong their feeble existence. Once we are targeted, the consequences will be unimaginable. It will take at least a few years for the Life Alliance to develop to a level where it can attract the attention of the 10 sacred sects. After a few years, we might not be afraid of the 10 sacred sects. Sing Hui glanced at the panicked Dan Tating and said calmly. His calm tone caused Ling Yu's heart to be filled with doubt. She could tell that Qing Su was not pretending to be indifferent. Instead, he really did seem to have the confidence to fend off the pressure from the 10 sacred sects in a few years' time. She was unable to understand this discovery. The 10 great saint sects, what kind of colossus were they? Even though the top 10 holy sects wouldn't send all their forces to deal with the overseas forces, and at most 1 or 2 holy sects would come to reap the benefits of the Life League after seeing that the Life League was developing well, how could the Life League resist them if they sent several Grand Elders to deal with the overseas forces? Was he Tsing Hui? He was at the advanced level of syncretism of spirit and qi. Even if he cultivated divine gang qi and was a high-level son of chaos, he wouldn't be a match for a few great elders. But soon, she suppressed the surprise in her heart. When she thought of Tsing Hui's achievements in the past few years and the rumors about Tsing Hui on Dragon-Slaying Island, she couldn't help but waver. Maybe, was Qing Su really a peak figure in the first place? His cultivation only rose as he recovered from his strange injuries. In just a few years, he had grown from an ordinary person to a level where his battle strength was not inferior to the late stage of the Green Hell realm. Adding in his divine technique, he could stand shoulder to shoulder with the Grand Elders of the Glory sect who were at the prominent divine stage. Then, in a few years, maybe he really had the ability to look down on the 10 sacred sects. Thinking of this, Ling Yu secretly restrained her restless thoughts. It was better to be cautious. Let's wait and see. After deciding on the development strategy of the Life Alliance, Tsing Hui gathered the syncretism of spirit and qi experts of the Life Alliance the next day and told them about his development plan. When they learned that Tsing Hui wanted to expand his forces, some knowledgeable people of the Life Alliance raised similar questions. However, they were all rejected by Tsing Hui. Seeing that Tsing Hui had made up his mind and that Zhou Xiao, Yuan Fei, Yu Xianchen, and Ling Yu didn't object, the elders of the syncretism of spirit and qi experts had no choice but to carry out their tasks despite their worries. For a time, the huge Life Alliance was operating rapidly. While the Life Alliance was working, Tsing Hui had some free time and returned to the Sky Dome realm of the Chaos Temple. He had long wanted to go to the Sky Dome Realm's library to read about the cultivation experience of the Torch Dragon bloodline from esteemed Zhu Zhao. However, he had been delayed by various things and couldn't find the time. Now that the general direction of the Life Alliance had been decided, the small matters were handled by Ling Yu, Yuan Fei, Zhou Xiao, Yu Xianchen, and other Green Netherworld realm experts. He didn't have to keep an eye on the Life Alliance's operations all the time. Naturally, he didn't want to waste time. The Chaos level has reached the 21st level. Xing Hui glanced at his character model. The 21st level Son of Chaos. However, this increase in the Chaos level wasn't of much help to Xing Hui's cultivation. He placed the newly increased Chaos level in his personal space. He had originally planned to wait until the 25th level Chaos level incarnation technique came out and use it to travel to various continents to collect Taoist rhymes. For convenience, if he could bring his personal space with him, the range of transactions would be much larger and the amount of Taoist rhymes he could obtain would increase exponentially. Therefore, it was best to increase his personal space to the 5th level. With this thought in mind, Xing Hui naturally placed the 21st level Chaos level in his personal space. The 3rd level Chaos level didn't have any other purpose other than making the space wider to the point that it could even contain a small mountain. Naturally, there wasn't any increase in strength. However, Xing Hui didn't mind. Wasting 5 Chaos levels in his personal space was part of his plan. He just moved his plan slightly ahead of schedule. Chapter 201. Characteristics of the Candle Dragon Bloodline, Analysis of the Magic of the Candle Dragon Bloodline, Activation Skills of the Candle Dragon Bloodline, What is the True God of the Sun? Xing Hui searched these ancient books one by one in the book collection tower. Some of these books came from the exalted Zhu Zhao, while others were collected by the exalted Zhu Zhao from some ancient dwellings. In the end, they were all stored in the library in the sky, and their value varied. Ordinary books could be read for free, while those books that contained the secret methods of bloodline cultivation required contribution points. Different methods required different contribution points. The cheaper ones only required a few points or dozens of points, while the more expensive ones could be sold for hundreds or thousands of points. It should be known that the ratio of contribution points to Taoist connotation in Heaven Vault was 100:1. A few thousand contribution points were equivalent to dozens of Taoist connotation. If Zhu Zhao esteemed had not come to Shaoyangxi City for a round of transaction last time, he was afraid that he would not even be qualified to read most of the books here. Even though he had spent the 2,000 contribution points he had exchanged from Green Ruins in just 3 short months by flipping through the books, tricks, secret methods, insights, and experiences, he had gained an unprecedentedly clear understanding of the Torch Dragon bloodline during these 3 months. In addition, the Candle Sun Sutra that he had cultivated was relatively orthodox. Compared with the Candle Sun Sutra, his cultivation of Red Yang Genuine Qi had made a huge leap unconsciously. According to this trend, it would not be difficult for him to catch up with the Great Sun Golden Crow skill in 1 or 2 years. Of course, if he could obtain the 5th and 6th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow spell in the next 1 or 2 years, and with the help of the Great Sun Golden Crow spell, his progress in the cultivation of the Great Sun Golden Crow spell would be far ahead of the Torch Sun Sutra. Xing Hui flipped through the 3 ancient books related to the Moon Candle Dragon bloodline and used up all the contribution points that he had exchanged for Taoist connotation. When he was about to look at the free books with regret, Zhangzhen Esteem's voice sounded, "Pak Hui boy, not long ago, we have successfully injured a sacred beast phoenix. Although we did not kill it, we have gained a lot of good things. Many of them have been given to me. You mentioned that you need some essence and blood of the phoenix, so prepare your Taoist connotation to exchange for it." Hearing the words of Zhangzhen Shengren, Xing Hui was slightly startled. He immediately left the library where he had stayed for 3 months and quickly went to the book creation hall where Zhangzhen Shengren was. "Esteemed Lord, I hope to exchange some phoenix feathers and phoenix blood essence from you." "Some. Do you know the price of phoenix blood essence and fire phoenix feathers? Even though the phoenix isn't one of the 6 divinities, its blood essence is still extremely expensive, especially the sacred beast I killed. It's equivalent to a 6th-stage saint, and its blood essence is extremely pure. Even if it's because we're both members of the Celestial Dome realm, I'll charge you at least 10 Taoist rhymes. As for the Fire Phoenix Feather, the market price is around 8 Taoist rhymes. I'll give you a discount and count it as 6 Taoist rhymes. With the 2,000 contribution points you've exchanged for, it's only acceptable to exchange for 1. Master Zhongjin glared at Qing Su in annoyance. So expensive? Xing Hui was a little shocked. Hey, this is the ordinary sacred beast blood essence. If it's sacred blood essence, the price will only be higher. Xing Hui couldn't help but smile bitterly. Master Zhongjin Shangren is right. I'll exchange for it. You have 2,000 contribution points, so you can still exchange for 1. Moreover, I don't intend to give you more. It's a great waste to give the Phoenix blood essence to your Golden Crow bloodline. It's better to go to the core of the Great Sun realm. Give me your identity jade token. I'll deduct 1,006 contribution points from you. I've used up all my contribution points in the past 3 months. Used up? Master Zhongzhen was slightly startled. He then asked in confusion, it's only been 3 or 4 months, what have you done? You actually squandered all your 2,000 contribution points. Even the dozen or so core members of Tianqiong sect wouldn't spend as much contribution points as you. Master Zhongzhen Shangren knows that I cultivate 2 bloodlines at the same time. Some time ago, I cultivated the Great Sun Golden Crow technique of the Golden Crow bloodline to the 4th level, but the Torch Dragon bloodline's Torch Sun Sutra has been difficult to improve. In order to avoid the imbalance between the 2 bloodlines, one of them being devoured by the other, I had to look for cultivation experiences that could improve the Torch Sun Sutra as soon as possible. Many books and experiences require additional contribution points, so in the past 3 months, I've unknowingly spent all my 2,000 contribution points. Torch Sun Sutra. Looking through the cultivation experiences of the Torch Dragon bloodline, Master Zhongzhen couldn't help but widen his eyes. Most of the cultivation experiences of the Torch Sun Sutra were written by that old man Zhu Zhao, and most of those secret techniques and experiences were also collected by him. He has the original copy with him. Why did you go to the library and look through the rubbed copies? Who is Master Zhu Zhao? What right do I have to look through his books? Huh? When Sister Li and I went out to hunt that Phoenix sacred beast, we accidentally heard Sister Li mention that esteemed Zhu Zhao had the intention of taking you as his disciple, didn't he? This happened a few months ago. Why didn't you hear anything about it? Master Zhu Zhao wants to take me as his disciple. Xing Hui was slightly stunned. He didn't hear anything about it. Yes, didn't that old man go to your place a few months ago? Could it be that he doesn't like you? As Master Zhongzhen spoke, he sized up Xing Hui. Kid, you cultivate 2 bloodlines at the same time, and it's commendable that you can control them well. Moreover, if I'm not wrong, your sword essence is close to the great mastery, right? Although there are many geniuses in the Sky Dome Empire, considering that you're from the Eastern Wilderness and are less than 25 years old, your achievements can be considered outstanding. It's reasonable that Master Zhu Zhao wants to take you as his disciple. However, judging from your reaction, Master Zhu Zhao didn't show up when he went to your place. It seems like he didn't take you seriously after all. When Xing Hui heard this, he couldn't help but recall the scene when he met Master Zhu Zhao 3 or 4 months ago. At that time, he felt that Master Zhu Zhao seemed to treat him differently. He thought it was because he was an official member of the Sky Dome Empire. Now it seemed like Reverend Zhu Zhao might have gone to the Eastern Wasteland for him. You met Master Zhu Zhao? Yes. He didn't say anything to you? Master Zhu Zhao taught me a true energy transformation technique. True energy transformation technique? It's a technique that requires comprehension ability and willpower to persist in cultivating. If one's comprehension ability isn't sufficient, then one won't be able to fully comprehend its profundities, and it'll take twice the effort for half the result. Moreover, every time one cultivates it, it will exhaust the cultivator's true qi, causing the cultivator to be extremely weak and exhausted. It's difficult to persist without sufficient willpower. It just so happens that this secret technique has very little effect at the initial stage, and it can at most allow the cultivator to have a stronger control over their true qi. Many people aren't able to persist past the initial stage, but once this secret technique is cultivated to the advanced stage, it'll allow the cultivator to naturally step into the second level of the saint realm. It's a secret technique that can allow the cultivator to obtain great benefits as long as they persist, and its true value isn't inferior to a divine rank sword technique at all. As the Zhongzhen monk said that, he stared at Qing Su strangely. The Zhongzhen monk has indeed used this secret technique to test his disciple before. Looks like he has indeed treated you as his test subject. I remember that he went to the eastern wastelands over 3 months ago. How has your cultivation of the vital energy transformation technique gone in the past 3 months? I've been quite busy these months, so I haven't started to practice it yet. Moreover, when I relaxed a little, I focused on reading books in the library again. Brat, you're putting the cart before the horse. Furthermore, from your petty actions, I can tell that you don't care about the cultivation method that esteemed Zhu Zhao sage bestowed upon you. This indirectly proves that you don't care about esteemed Zhu Zhao sage either. Master Zhu Zhao is one of the founders of the Sky Dome Empire. I respect him very much. Master Zhongzhen shook his head. From your words and deeds, I can tell that you're too arrogant. Too arrogant? Yes. You lack the fear of the unknown and the powerful. This kind of character is not undesirable. For ordinary people, this kind of mentality can be called aggressive and courageous. But on the other hand, this kind of mentality is arrogant and impulsive. Xing Hui frowned. Maybe he was a little reckless sometimes, but time was not on his side. Half of the 10-year deadline he set for himself had passed. But in terms of cultivation, he had just reached the level of syncretism of spirit and qi, which was far from the void-shattering realm. You don't have to be too discouraged. I guess that Master Zhu Zhao is still testing you. He hasn't been completely disappointed. You still have a chance. Speaking of which, Master Zhu Zhao is the #1 expert in the Sky Dome Empire. He made great contributions to subduing the divine beast Golden Crow. If you can become his disciple, you'll be on the fast track. With his guidance, it won't be difficult for you to reach the Saint Realm in a short time. Reach the Saint Realm in a short time. This sentence was very tempting to Xing Hui. Please advise me, Master Zhongzhen. What should I do? First of all, we have to figure out why Master Zhu Zhao suddenly wants to take you as his disciple. As far as I know, Master Zhu Zhao suddenly became arrogant since he became the #1 expert in the Sky Dome Empire. He hasn't taken any disciples for a long time. Even if you have extraordinary talent, in my opinion, you still need some opportunities to make Master Zhu fall in love with you. Before you figure out the reason, you'd better do it as usual. But you should focus more on the cultivation of qi into void. This should be a kind of test for your talent and comprehension. I see. Xing Hui nodded seriously. I'll do my best to cultivate qi into void. Go. I'll help you ask around in the Sky Dome Empire and see if I can find any useful clues. Oh, no, Master Zhu Zhao wants to take in a disciple. I actually got to know about it from Sister Li. These 2 old guys are obviously hiding it from me. No, it's not right for me to ask around directly. It seems like I have to rely on Sister Li. Master Zhongzhen mumbled and gradually disappeared as he muttered to himself. Obviously, he had left the Sky Dome realm. Seeing Master Zhongzhen leave, Xing Hui's thoughts wavered. Master Zhu Zhao, the #1 expert in the Sky Dome Empire and the existence of the Saint Realm who could subdue divine beasts. If he could become Master Zhu Zhao's disciple, at least in the Immortality Realm and the Saint Realm, he would be on the fast track of cultivation. By then, it would be possible for him to reach the virtual Shattering Realm in 10 years. Thinking of this, Xing Hui made up his mind. Chi into void. With a rank 5 comprehension, he wouldn't be afraid that he couldn't cultivate such a secret technique. Chapter 202. Xing Hui immediately left the Chaos Temple and summoned Dan Tating, Ling Yu, Madame Dogwood, and the others. He described esteemed Zhu Zhao's appearance to them and then said with a serious expression, "Find this person as soon as possible. After you find him, don't act rashly and don't disturb or offend him. Otherwise, I'll deal with him personally." "Yes." Dan Tating hurriedly agreed when he saw Xing Hui's serious expression. Ling Yu, on the other hand, couldn't help but think of the mysterious elder from the Four Seas Merchant Guild when he left Dragon Slaying Island when she heard Xing Hui's description of the figure and his tone. She, who already had some thoughts, suddenly had an idea. However, she didn't show any of it on her face. "Do it as soon as possible. I'll reward whoever can find this person." Xing Hui's expression was serious. At this moment, he only wanted to use esteemed Zhu Zhao's power to cultivate to virtual shattering realm within 10 years and return to Earth. He didn't notice the change in Ling Yu's thoughts. "Yes, I'll mobilize everyone in the Life League to act together." Dan Tating, Madame Dogwood, and Ling Yu responded. "Go." Xing Hui waved his hand. After Ling Yu, Madame Dogwood, and Dan Tating left, his mind immediately recalled the method of transforming vital energy into virtual energy that esteemed Zhu Zhao had taught him. The method of transforming vital energy into virtual energy did have some requirements for comprehension, but this requirement wasn't high. The real difficulty of cultivating it was in perseverance. Xing Hui tried it once and refined his vital energy according to the method of transforming vital energy into virtual energy. Other than feeling that his vital energy was slightly purified and that his control of vital energy had improved slightly, there was no other effect. However, the price he paid was that his vital energy was exhausted. The discomfort of exhausting vital energy was far more serious than exhausting physical strength. Mortals who kept cultivating would be forced to give up because they couldn't endure the pain. The weakness caused by exhausting vital energy came from the level of life. Zhen Qi itself originated from one's essence Qi, blood Qi, and blood Qi. The consequences of exhausting one's essence Qi, blood Qi, and blood Qi were naturally far worse than exhausting one's physical strength. Even though Xing Hui had already raised his recovery level to the 5th step, and could recover all his true Qi in a day, the weakness that came from his bones when his true Qi was exhausted still made him want to stop cultivating immediately. The most important thing about this secret method is its recovery. If a person recovers fast enough, and uses this method enough times, they will naturally be able to quickly reach the small success, or even the great success, or even the great perfection. Over and over again, they will use up their true Qi and replenish it again and again. During this process, their control and understanding of true Qi will also increase. Just like an archer, even if he doesn't have any talent in archery, if he has endless physical strength and can shoot tens of thousands of arrows in a day, after a few months, he can still become a godly archer with 100% accuracy. With that thought in mind, Xing Hui couldn't help but look at his character page. After reading books in the Sky Dome Realms library for more than 3 months, his chaotic level had increased again. Currently, it was at the 22nd step. Originally, he had planned to raise his personal space to the 3rd step. However, the opportunity to become the disciple of the top expert in the Sky Dome realm was right in front of him, so he naturally didn't want to miss it. If he wanted to become the disciple of the top expert in the Sky Dome realm, he had to master the technique. Thinking of this, he looked at the recovery characteristic without hesitation and raised it from the 5th step to the 6th step. The Life Alliance had now become the overlord of this sea region. With hundreds of islands under their control, their ability to mobilize people was very strong. Soon, everyone in the Life Alliance was looking for Venerable Zhu Zhao. As the vice leader of the Life Alliance and the only one who had shown her strength on Dragon Slaying Island, Ling Yu's reputation in the Life Alliance was actually slightly higher than Xing Hui's. With this reputation, many forces submitted to her. While others were investigating this person's whereabouts, Ling Yu was investigating this person's identity. 10 days passed in the blink of an eye. Vice Leader, this is the information we've found about this person. In Ling Yu's room, Long Yufeng handed a stack of information to her. As the person in charge of the Heize Chamber of Commerce, he had secretly submitted to elders Zhuo Xianyuan. However, now that Zhuo Xianyuan and Zhuo Zhao's faction had lost their power, Ling Yu's faction was at the peak of their power. For his own future and the benefits of the Heize Chamber of Commerce in Shaoyang Sea City, he led the Heize Chamber of Commerce to submit to Ling Yu without hesitation. In the past 10 days, we've searched the sea region within a radius of 20,000 kilometers and found a total of 103 people who look exactly like the portrait. However, among the 103 people, 99% of them don't have any special information. The only thing that surprised us was this piece of information that we found by chance. Long Yufeng said as he handed the most important piece of information to Ling Yu. Ling Yu picked up the document and read it carefully. When she saw the description of this person's identity, she couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. I knew it. His identity is definitely not that simple. Tianqiong. He's actually an important figure in Tianqiong. Ling Yu's hand trembled as she said, Tianqiong is a colossus far away in the eastern wasteland. Those who can be called important in Tianqiong are definitely at least Saint Tier 5 and above. These people all stand at the peak of Tianqiong, looking down on the world from above. If I, Ling Yu, can obtain the favor of such a person or establish a relationship with such a person, Ling Yu said without hesitation, destroy this information immediately. This subordinate understands. Long Yufeng lowered his head and said respectfully, this subordinate doesn't know anything. Even if someone asks, this subordinate will only say that I'm following the alliance leader's orders. Good. Long Yufeng, you're very good. Cultivate well. Although you have the Heize Chamber of Commerce behind you, if you're not strong enough and want to be in a high position, you'll definitely attract the jealousy of countless people. Only by breaking through to the spirit and chi uniting realm can you make a difference. If the Life Alliance has some resources that are useful to you, you can temporarily take them and make up for it when the time comes. I can promise you that once you break through to the spirit and chi uniting realm, there will definitely be a place for you in the Elder Council of the Life Alliance. Furthermore, although you won't be able to enter the 10 Great Elders, I'll definitely prepare one of the 11th, 12th, and 13th seats for you. Long Yufeng was pleasantly surprised when he heard this. He bowed to Ling Yu and said, Vice Alliance Leader, please don't worry. This subordinate will definitely not disappoint you. The Life Alliance was a behemoth that ruled over hundreds of islands. There were countless experts in the spirit and chi uniting realm in the Alliance, and there were even a few experts in the Green Netherworld realm. How much resources would such a behemoth have? Now that Ling Yu had spoken, he could temporarily borrow the Alliance's resources. With the help of these resources, he wouldn't have to worry about not stepping into the spirit and chi uniting realm. You may leave. Ling Yu said and waved her hand to let Long Yufeng leave. Then, she started to walk back and forth in her courtyard. Why would a big shot from Tianqiong come to Dragon Slaying Island? She couldn't help but think of the rumors that had been circulating around Dragon Slaying Island. Xing Hui was actually a big shot. However, he had offended other experts for some reason and was severely injured, so he was stranded overseas. All these years, the reason why his cultivation could improve by leaps and bounds was actually because his injuries were gradually recovering. As for his true strength, no one could say for sure. Now that a big shot from Tianqiong had come without making a sound, Xing Hui only dared to secretly investigate that big shot. Perhaps his injuries had been left behind by that great figure. Now that that great figure had found traces of him and had finally come knocking on his door, all she needed to do was find that great figure again and inform him of the clues regarding Green Ruins. A gleam of light flashed through Ling Yu's eyes. She made up her mind. Without any hesitation, she put her thoughts into action and directly left her courtyard. She sat on the sacred winged golden peng that Qing Su had returned to her and made her way to Dragon-Slaying Island. While Tsing Hui was focusing on esteemed Zhu Zhao, the battle that had lasted for several months finally came to an end. In the end, the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect temporarily gave up on this sea area. In this battle, the Hunyuan Heaven sect, which wanted to join Shadow Sword, was naturally the most enthusiastic. Towards the end of the battle, the Hunyuan Heaven sect sent 4 Grand Elders, and even chosen Jia Su personally came. As for the Deputy Sect Master, 2 of them came. With this excellent performance, they finally gained Shadow Sword's recognition and became a part of Shadow Sword. At the same time, they were a nail that Jianing had left in the eastern wilderness to block the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect. The Hunyuan Heaven sect and the Wuji Sword sect had achieved their strategic goals. Although the Green Lotus Sword sect had suffered some losses, and when Hui's Life Alliance had benefited Tsing Hui in the end, they relied on the Green Lotus Sword sect's reputation as one of the 10 great sacred sects to more or less recruit some people as one of the divine Qi. As for the defeated Create-Evolved Mysterious sect that was temporarily expelled from this sea area, they didn't suffer many losses other than losing the construction materials for 3 medium-sized Gate of Creation. As for manpower, as the number 1 force in the eastern wilderness, if they wanted to recruit people, they could easily recruit countless Divine Qi Unity Stage and even Green Netherworld Stage experts. Therefore, even if they were the defeated side, they didn't suffer heavy losses. The most tragic one was the Jin Wu religion that didn't achieve any strategic goals at all. The Create-Evolved Mysterious sect secretly hated a mysterious expert from the Jin Wu religion for ruining their plans and dealt a heavy blow to the Jin Wu religion. Although the supreme elders of the Jin Wu religion didn't die, they were seriously injured and wouldn't be able to recover to their peak state in 1 or 2 years. As for the Green Netherworld Stage Dharmaraja and Divine Qi Unity Stage elders, their losses were even more severe. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that they had lost more than half of their forces. This battle had even damaged the vitality of the Jin Wu religion. In particular, the Jin Wu religion bordered the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect. The Create-Evolved Mysterious sect had been defeated because of the chaos caused by the mysterious expert from the Jin Wu religion. In the end, they would definitely vent their anger on the Jin Wu religion. It was foreseeable that the Jin Wu religion wouldn't have an easy time for a long time to come. As the 5 great sacred sects suffered losses in the overseas battle, the curtains fell, leaving behind a lot of power vacuum. In order to make up for these power vacuum, the overseas region, which wasn't peaceful to begin with, would inevitably fall into chaos. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.